First Laugh Podcast, the podcast my mom called. I thought it was gonna be jokes.
Looks gorgeous. This is probably the
Those look badass.
best backdrop that we've ever had for any of these podcasts that have been taped. We had Zeke, one of the comics up in Illinois. He watched the video and he commented. He said, "I want to do acid in that room."
Yeah, he said that. I said, you got to see the other room.
Yeah, really.
Take you in the back.
These would definitely make for some interesting pictures to melt off the walls.
Yeah, my mom was an artist, and they built a house that was kind of built like a big barn. So the living room was like 20 by 40 with a loft ceiling and balcony. And I'd go in there with a dimmer switch all tripped out of my brains and sit there and look at her artwork going, I know she did acid. I know she did acid. And she didn't, but she was just crazy and creative. But
I know what her muse was.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the only one I've done where I'm like, I want to do a wider shot just to get the atmosphere and everything. I had to zoom out as much as I could to get Frankenstein here. I'm
good.
definitely getting at least a piece of Frankenstein.
Okay, good.
And we should
Place fucking
probably
rules.
explain why all this art is on the wall here too, right? I mean, we talked about how we're in Mason City. We're right next to the comedy club. And in this building, is this where you had a restaurant before?
Yeah, we had two restaurants in here, a pizza pasta side and a steakhouse. And,
Oh, God.
It was pretty intense.
It sounds
was
great.
Well, it sounds great, but I've been burning all the papers from, all the tax stuff from years gone by. And
Yeah.
I've been kind of going through there.
That's what I
thinking,
do with
man,
my tax
I
info,
wrote
too.
a shitload of checks every day, just because you had between your napkin people and your distributors, all your beer and booze guys and your food and your pasta guys. Check.
Yeah.
Ecolab for the dishwasher,
That's how I could tell it was a fancy place if you had a napkin people.
Oh, it was
You got to
nice.
call the napkin
I
people.
had a napkin guy. Yeah, they were fancy.
Aramark.
Oh, wow. Fuck you to Aramark, huh?
Yeah.
Why the fuck you
Oh,
to Aramark?
the small print. We wanted to cancel it because they were starting to send us shit stuff. And I said, okay, we're going to buy our own napkins and wash our own. I said, well, if you look at your contract here, you got to stay with us for another 10 years. Oh, fuck,
Another
blow
10
me,
years.
blow me. I'll take you to fucking court. I called Better Business Bureau on them. And
Yeah.
So suddenly they backed down. So,
I hear there's shit to work for, too.
yeah.
And they do weird contracts where they, vary it. It's not a set rate for things. It's how much.
Things kind of
like
change.
they'll charge.
They did the mats and the napkins and some aprons and I think some chef jackets or something. I
It
can't
seems like
remember.
the most soulless company. Like the whole, you know what I mean? Like the whole thing about Aramark is we're gonna do all the shit that you don't want to do, and it's all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to work at the Toyota factory in Kentucky, and I hated the place. It was just a soulless. It was no joy, right?
Yeah.
And then in the cafeteria, the burgers were provided by Aramark, and it was the most soul crushing to go into the cafeteria and to see double. There was just the font double cheeseburger Aramark, and it tasted like shit. Fuck Aramark.
Fuck them. Now let's go to something positive.
All right, good.
So, Dr. Gonzo back on the podcast today.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Thanks for having us in your domicile.
Josh.
In Project Art.
Project Art. Yeah, this is the place where the magic happens. Used to be the bedroom years ago. Boy, have things changed.
Yeah, funny how time catches all.
I get more off on painting and food,
Oh, I thought you meant y'all were fucking down here. It used to be. Now it's down here.
Yeah. No, it's just a fun, creative place. We like to paint, and I don't know. It just seems like it fills my days, and when I'm not out doing other things, and it's a creative outlet. I need to create all the time for some reason. That's just kind of how I was. So, mom was an artist. Yeah. Mom was an artist, and Dad dabbled a little bit in some painting, and but it's just I like the medium. I like working in acrylic paints, and I like painting stuff from my childhood. I'm a real 20th century guy. If you look around the room, everything's
the
older.
pop art influence. Yeah.
No, you don't see any Cardi B or
It's a lot
I don't know.
of
That kind of looks like Cardi B.
well, yeah, if you squint, that's That's Wonder Woman, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wonder
it
Woman.
is.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Got Dudley Do-Right and Woody Woodpecker and the
John Bonham from Led Zeppelin and Frankenstein and Hunter Thompson's picture over here. And
love it, man.
that's kind of where my nickname came from when I was in college. I had a roommate who thought it was Hunter Thompson, so I was Dr. Gonzo. And then I got to open for him at the Stone, which is
Yeah.
a rock club in San Francisco, and it looked funny on opening for Hunter Thompson, Dr. Gonzo, and people thought.
People just thought it was a pure
Yes.
Hunter Thompson knockoff.
Who knew?
So they thought you'd be
I
your
was out there,
roommate?
and I entertained him for quite a while, and then he was late getting there, and
No.
it wasn't his fault. I mean, he was actually
He was on
actually where
drugs.
he was supposed to
Yeah.
be, but they kept checking the airport and all these other places, but he'd already gotten to the hotel and was in the bar, just waiting for his ride.
So this was like Hunter S. Thompson doing a spoken word tour, and
Yeah, he just got up on this panel and people would come up to the microphone and ask him a question, from some of his writings.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And he'd go, hey, Gaddafi, Kennedy, and you could hear the K sounds, and you can make out a few words. I mean, I left after about a half an hour because I'm like, I have no idea what he's saying.
Like what,
It's
what-
hotter than hell in here.
What year is this?
I don't know. It was in the 80s sometime.
Okay.
He got hired back to work for the Examiner. And he was writing columns for the San Francisco Examiner, so he was living out there again.
Was this like in his prime, or was this past
Yeah, I
that?
think he was still. I mean, he still had a couple of good books in him. Probably after the Great Shark Hunt, I think that's when this happened. Because I think I read that just before that thing, and so.
Did you just luck into this, or how'd you land? How'd you land this gig?
Shit, somebody just said, "Hey, I think it'd be funny if Dr. Gonzo for
Yeah.
Thompson," And then he showed up at a private party I was at. He was sitting out there. He was watching me while I was doing my show. And it's one of those out of body freak you out. Kinda,
yeah.
Why is he here? Why is he here? And this is weird.
fucking
Is he
wild.
going to shoot me for using Dr. Gonzo? And,
did he ever talk to you?
It was an
well, we
homage.
sat at the same table afterwards because I had to get paid, and he was sitting with Will Hurst the third. William Hurst, his sister Patty Hurst. And
Yeah.
everybody was
Yeah.
at this party, and it was kind of creepy. It was
but before or after Patty Hearst was kidnapped?
this was way after. This was
Okay.
she was out of prison, and she was there. She was at the party.
She had been unbrainwashed by then?
Oh yeah. She married her security guard or something. I don't know, but they became friends with some friends of mine up in Marin. Anyway, the whole place, there were Santa Clauses posted here and there. And after I got paid, I was sitting at a table with Hunter and Warren. What's his name? Just another writer with an eye patch. No, it wasn't Buffett. And Will Hurst III. And it was just I was out of my element. I was just sitting there to get my other check. I got half of it up front, and I got the other half. And once I got paid, I go, it's really been nice, but I got to go. And as I left, I noticed all the Santas had Uzis, and they were the security guards. And
Oh, they were literal Santas? I thought you
Yeah.
meant like they were like.
no, it was a Christmas party for like every heavy duty person in the area.
It's a Die Hard movie.
It was pretty scary.
Dude, if I was rich, I would have security guards dressed
Yeah,
up as Santa
I had
Claus.
Santa
Yeah.
Claus with Uzis. Just another day in Dr. Gonzo's life.
I was like, why does the Easter Bunny have a grenade in his hand?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool that
Peace with us.
somebody came to you and said, it'd be funny if Dr. Gonzo opened for Dr. Gonzo. Right?
Yeah. That's kind of how that
I'm going
works.
to change my name to you too. We're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
see how that
fucking
works
badass.
out. Speaking of you, there's a photo of you in here opening for Dr. Gonzo.
Yeah, we should give a little backstory. So you brought literature for us today, which is
Well, I brought
fucking
literature
badass.
and a picture book with all these
Yeah.
8x10s and stuff from the 80s and 90s.
Ah, you and Sam Kinison right
Jesus
there.
Christ.
Oh yeah, now that was fun. That was at the Hard Rock Cafe in San Francisco. It was Christmas, and they were broadcasting live on KFOG radio. And Sam was playing someplace in town, and we just were hanging out, and somebody took our picture. And if you look at that picture, we're screaming, but the screamers are in the picture behind us. It's Elton John and George Michaels. But anyway, so while we were standing there, Greg Kinn's a friend of mine, and so they asked Greg Kinn to sing Blue Christmas. And so he was singing Blue Christmas. I'll have a blue Christmas. And there was a guy kind of tapping on a chair for drums, and somebody strumming it on the guitar. And me and Sam and Todd Rundgren sang woo 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 woo.
The backup
the
vocals,
background,
that's
and
badass.
I'm going woo 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 woo, and I'm looking over here, and I'm looking over here, going, I love my fucking life. This is awesome.
That's
That's
amazing.
bananas,
It
yeah.
was just nuts, man. So
I just ripped your beloved binder.
that's all right. I got bigger binders.
It's ruined.
Oh man, you broke my binder.
Well, I love how he brings it out and he's like, "Oh, here's all my precious, cherished memories," and then I fucking rip it right in front of him.
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna set it on this chair.
Okay, great.
It'll be a lot easier for you to handle.
There we go. I appreciate it. Look at that. Dr. Gonzo's a fixer.
That's all I do is fix things. I'm the honeydewer.
In the binder here is this your promotional?
That was probably from like 82 or 83.
It's a
my
picture
Tiger
of you.
Beat magazine shot.
Yeah, it's like you're like I guess you sent this out or whatever. People
Yeah, that's
sent
how
this
we
out.
used to do things. It's called press kits. You'd and you'd cut and paste things together, and it has
Here, I'll get
a little bio about
I'll
me.
get pictures of them to put in.
What's the bio say? Dr. Gonzo's performances
are a smooth blend of hot rock and roll and comedy that keep him busy, opening for top rock bands as well as headlining major comedy clubs.
It's everything in a sentence.
Love it.
That's what everybody
Fucking
needs,
wild.
for their bio. Just a good sentence that explains what you're doing. And
I
then
love it.
Where I
smooth
played,
blend.
who I've been with, what I've been on. Acid.
Yeah, you also showed us
Reds.
this your baseball card that you got.
Yeah.
This is fucking badass.
When I was with Huey Lewis, we got to do a fantasy camp, and then I hosted the banquet that night. Roy Firestone from ESPN was supposed to host this banquet, and it was old Dodgers, Giants, Orioles, and Yankees at this fantasy camp that Huey and I got to perform at. And so they asked me to host the banquet because this guy didn't show up. So I'm introducing Brooks Robinson and Moose Scourin and Mickey Mantle
Yeah.
and Juan Marichal
Oh, my
and
God.
Orlando
Badass.
Cepeda and Johnny Roseborough and Maury Wills and just like every freaking great baseball player ever. So at the end of the thing, the guy Max Shapiro, who ran the camp, said, "Hey man, you want to host one of these camps one time?" I said, "What's in it for me?" He goes, "How about a free camp for the week?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So in '87, I went down and did just the Giants camp, and my last name is Means. So in the lockers, the uniforms are hanging there. It's Mays, McCovey, Means.
That's fucking
So I'm
badass.
dressing next
yeah.
to Willie Mays
Oh,
and
my God.
McCovey and all these guys.
It's
And
gotta be
that
surreal.
that was just a great freaking time. And then so they took your picture. Everybody else was like swinging the bat or grounding fielders, and I'm tipping my cap coming out of the dugout like I just knocked a big dinger.
But you might have. We don't know.
Nobody knows.
Absolutely. I love that. And you grew up a huge baseball fan,
Baseball
too, right?
junkie. I was a
there you
Cub
go,
fan
yeah.
through '69, and then it broke my heart that year. And listening to late games on my transistor, and I always paid attention to Willie Mays and Marichal McCovey and those guys because they were just monsters. I thought they were great. And when I moved out west, they beat the Dodgers, and I always hated the Dodgers, and they just the Giant fans hate the Dodgers. So I just became a big Giants fan out there. So and been the Giants fan ever since. So I still watch the Cubbies,
Yeah.
I still watch the Cardinals. I like good baseball.
Yeah, but you've been on the team, so you have to be a
I
Giants
even
fan.
got a
yeah.
contract I found in a box upstairs. That he signed this contract for the Giants. It's pretty funny. It was a
fucking
good
wild.
time. I got
should-
to hang with all these guys that were just Hall of Famers, and yeah, it was pretty awesome.
You should take that novelty contract and try to have it enforced legally.
I think I should take it to the Pawn Stars and see if they'll buy it.
Yeah.
No, you need to call Major League Baseball and say, "Where's my fucking pension?"
Yeah, where's my pin?
Exactly.
I think you need 10 years.
I was
so.
I was honorably discharged from that.
I was honorably discharged from the Giants. They asked me to leave.
I'm looking at the venues here on the same brochure, and what caught my eye was there's a lot of the big ones. Bogart's in Cincinnati, man. I'm from Lexington. I went to so many concerts there. That's a hell of a venue,
Oh,
man.
great! And here's a great Bogart story. I was playing in Covington across the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
at the Funny Bone, and we picked up the paper that week, and Joe Walsh on Sunday night was going to be at Bogart's.
Oh.
So I had just toured with him, within the year.
So this is early
And
90s.
Spire was with me. Yeah, this was 91 maybe.
Matt Spire?
Chris Spire. Nice truck, Matt.
You make
Chris
fun of the way I
Spire,
talk. What are you talking about? Stop it. I don't talk like that. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do.
So Chris is
So Chris is with me at the club. This is when I first kind of got to know Chris, as a matter of fact. And who else? Mark Sweeney. I can't remember who else that was there. But I go, I don't know where they're staying, but I'm just going to ask somebody, what's the nicest hotel in Cincinnati? So they told me. So I just called and said, I'd like to speak with Smokey Wendell. This is on Sunday day. And Smokey's his road manager. And he answered the phone.
Oh, my
Hey,
God.
Smokey, Gonzo, what's going on, man? Hey, I'm doing a show over in Covington, and when we're done with the show, we want to come over and see Joe. Oh, yeah, how many of you are there? There's 5 of us. I said, okay. So fastest show ever on a Sunday night.
Sure, right.
It started at 8, boom, we plowed
Over
right
it,
through the
fuck
show.
out
When
of
we were
it.
done, they're going, where are you guys going? We hopped in the car and we got over. We missed the opening act, but we got there on Joe's first song. Got to the door, 5 passes, 5 tickets, everything free reign. And so we get there, and watch the show, and Joe's just, he's showing slides. And he's still, this is before he got sober. And and so
when he
he's
was
got a
still
tie
fun,
on
yeah.
that goes all the way down to the floor and a coonskin cap, whatever. And but he's playing with Rick, the bass player, and Joe Vitale on drums, and Ringo Starr's son, Zach Starkey, was playing drums.
Oh.
Wow.
And so they finish the show. You know how they stop, and they come out back for an encore. So I turn to the guys. I go, I'm going to go back and say hi to them real quick. Why I got a second, just to let them know I'm here and that we're enjoying themselves and want to thank them. So I go back there and they slap a Les Paul on me. So I come back on stage and we play Rocky Mountain Way. And I'm
Shit.
and Spire and those guys are out there going, what the fuck? You know,
Oh, man.
So that was
Yeah. Oh my god.
Was that the encore?
And I got the I got the solo and the whole deal. It was fun.
That's
as
so
shit.
badass,
So,
yeah.
it was completely badass. And then after the show, then afterwards,
You got a solo in that?
oh yeah,
Oh my god.
Gun, take it. I think I was playing the mic stand up for a slide. Anyway,
Oh, man.
so then we went out and we all hung out that night, and so the comics got to follow. We kept going to these different places, and these bars were closed, and the hotel bar where they were staying was closed. So we went to this other hotel, and we drank and just had a great freaking time. And yeah, so I got to impress my friends.
Yeah, I got to be rock star for a night. Yeah, it's badass.
Unintentionally, you know. I mean, it all just kind of fell in. Again, it was one
You
of those
had to
things.
look so cool, man.
Oh, it was just awesome.
The fact, I'm gonna go.
You
back.
don't think I
and-
wasn't smiling when I was up there
course.
looking out there going, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
look at me.
I'm gonna go back and say hi to my friend Joe real quick. And
Yeah.
then, well, hey, you know what? He threw a Les Paul on me. I had to play it, guys.
Oh, I mean, Rick knew. I mean, Rick
Yeah.
goes, you know, if Gonzo comes back, he's jamming. We're
oh
gonna fuck
man,
with him.
that's so fucking
hilarious.
cool.
Okay.
Did they actually say your name, or were you just?
Oh, yeah.
But then they give it up for our main man.
And there was a video guy the whole time on stage too, and I never saw the video. I would love to have a copy of that. There's a couple of things that were videotaped that I wish I had.
But did Joe do the ultimate rock and roll thing? Was he like, give it up for my main man, Dr. Gonzo? And then you fucking hit the
He was more like, yeah, he's pretty good, man. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, Joe's just Joe.
Yeah.
Joe was just like a cartoon.
That's amazing.
What he is.
That's fucking amazing. I love how I just name a random venue and you're like, oh yeah, let me tell you the time I fucking killed rock and roll at this motherfucker right here.
So
I wrote names on pieces of paper here, not to be a name dropper, but this is a fun game where there's 2 names on each piece of paper in there. And I did this with a crowd one night at the comedy club, just doing stories after my set.
this is the best game for a podcast with a guest
And I pulled
ever.
out 2 names, and I would read the 2 names off, and they could pick which one they wanted to hear a story about.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Let's see what you got.
Little Richard.
Oh, shit. Okay. Open for a Little Richard at Paul Masson Winery. And
Open for Little Richard. That's
What
amazing.
in the fuck?
so, and this was later. This was...
So this is straight Little Richard at this point?
This is just Little Richard. this
is-
what can you say about Little Richard that hasn't been said about the big toe popping up in my boot? Woo! And so there was a big deal. The crew guys get to know you after a while.
Yeah, of
when you
course.
open shows and stuff. And these guys kept thinking, whatever you do not touch Little Richard's grand piano. He's got a black grand piano right in the middle of the stage. You're going to go on. We're going to set you up on just off to the side here. Don't fuck with his piano. I said, okay. So I go out and I'm doing my thing, and it's like 1,400 people on a winery. You're up on top of a hilltop looking down over Saratoga. And it's not, my job as a comic is the sun goes down and the lights look good.
Right.
And so I'm up there and I said something and I turned my head and it was like slow motion. This little piece of spit comes off my tongue and I'm like, oh no.
Don't
And
hit
goes,
the piano.
and he goes, tunk, right on the grand piano. I'm like,
oh, fuck.
I go, I just spit on Little Richard's piano. And the crowd's laughing. I'm like, I double up my sleeve. I go over there and I do one of these numbers, and the crew guys are like just all staring at me. So I get done.
And he never opened for Little Richard again.
So I get done. I did good with it. And I go down and I got a seat right in the front. And my friend Jack's there. And it worked out great that he was there. And so I just sat with Jack. And here comes Little Richard. First, it's the Memphis Horns. They're all they're just tearing up this music. And they go, ladies and gentlemen, Little Richard. And he comes out, oh, and he steps up on the seat, on the piano bench, and he's going, woo, and then he steps up on top of the piano and just starts stomping all over the top of the piano, gets down and then just beats the shit out. I'm like going, no. And I find out it's a rental.
Oh,
It had nothing to do. They were just fucking with me,
Oh,
making a
okay.
big deal about me. Don't touch the piano thing.
I believed it, man.
You believed it.
Yeah.
I believed it. I was freaking out, man. I go, oh my god, I spit on his piano, and oh my god, this is his baby. I know how I am about my instrument and how people are. But so then after the show, his brother was like his
Big Richard.
yeah. That's funny, but he wasn't a very big guy.
Yeah.
But he goes, hey, you want to meet Little Richard? Mm-hmm. I go, where is he? He goes, oh, he's back here alone in his room. I go, no. I don't. No. He goes, really? I go, nah, that's okay. I've read enough about Little Richard.
Yeah.
You sure he thinks you're really cute?
Yeah,
I mean, funny.
Well, there you go.
Talented.
There you go. Sometimes you just learn things as you get older. So
What I know about Little Richard is that he famously was gay and then not gay and then religious and a preacher and then all this stuff and back.
did you know about him shitting in the shoebox and all
No.
that stuff? Okay, this is all. Read his book.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a weird.
What? Who's?
I remember
He was a
cocaine.
kid. He was a
I
kid,
remember a
and
lot of
somebody
cocaine.
pissed him off, so he shit in the shoebox and gave it to him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Still funny.
That's still funny.
Wait a minute, hold on. Cocaine? You're telling me that man did cocaine? I can't believe it.
Okay, what else you got there?
Oh yeah.
Was there
right,
another
Kyle.
name on that piece of paper?
Oh.
Was there another one with the Little Richard?
Emmylou Harris.
Oh, Emmylou Harris. Now that was fun. That was at Circle Star Theater in San Carlos, and first time I played there, and she was big at the time. I mean, this was '82 maybe. It might be on that early calendar thing, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But what it is it's the stage rotates. And
Okay.
There's like 3,000 people sit around Circle Star.
So just
And
do it in the round?
You get introduced, and then you go down, and it goes down, and then it goes like this, and you step up, and you get on the stage. You go to your spot, start doing it, and then the stage starts to rotate. You're like on a rotisserie.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Fucking
Was it
wild,
rotating when you were on stage doing comedy?
Yeah. It went around like 3 or 4 times while I was in the half hour. I
Super
did.
slow rotation.
Yeah, it's a slow rotation. But anyway, so it's my first time there, and they introduced me. And I got my guitar. You know how I swing my guitar around like this. So I'm running down there. Well, it goes down, and then it levels off just before you hit the steps. And when I stepped down, I didn't, I lost my balance, and I thought I was going to go face first right on the stage, and I kind of caught myself like this and went up the steps and got on stage. I thought, what a great way to start my show.
Yeah.
By taking a face right in the stage. But I got on, was doing my show, and then somebody goes, Emmylou! I go, she'll be here just a little bit. I just do. And then as you rotate, then it's over here, Emmylou! Then it's over here, Emmylou! Finally I go, hey, I hate to tell you this, but her bus broke down. I'm doing the whole show. Whoa! That's just one of those fuck with the crowd kind of things.
You were getting heckled in 360
Yeah,
degrees.
it's weird if we get messed up in the rotisserie, but
Was it disorienting to be on a stage that's moving, even if it is slow? It's
no,
kinda,
because you're not. It just when you're coming back around because there's all these different aisles, and there's the exit sign, and then just rotating around, and then the one where you came down has a star above it, so that's the one. When at the end of your set, it'll stop right there, and then that's where you get off and
Your
go
Northern
to.
Star.
But when I was with Joe Walsh, we did one of those round theaters in Akron, Ohio, and this old lady comes because I'd done that show. I knew how the thing worked. So this little old lady comes up to me with the glasses, like the Far Side lady, She goes,
What we do is, because you're doing 20 minutes, how many times do you want to go around on the stage?
I go, I've played one of these stages before, so here's what I want you to do. When I get introduced, and she's just staring at me, when I get introduced, I'll come down, I'll get on stage, and I want you to start the stage really slow. And then I just want it to pick up speed, so when it gets to my 20 minutes, I want it to throw me off the stage. And she goes,
We can't do that.
I go, well, they did it at the Circle Star. It was great. Well,
We can't do that.
but it was just fun messing with her.
How big of a stage was it?
It's a big round stage. I mean, it's big because they got, the band has their equipment up there. And so as it goes around, and I saw, I've seen the Temptations down there. I opened for, what was it, Quarter Flash? Was that the name of the band? Lover Flash? Quarter Flash.
Quarter Flash.
I get those guys all mixed up. Anyway, yeah, I did them at the Circle Star a few years later too. And it was,
So you're used to the circle.
yeah, I've done it before. So you get, I mean, all name acts at this place. I mean, they only book really good people at this place. So I saw, who did I see there? Chet Atkins and Lee Ritenour. And, yeah, anyway. Go ahead. What
Well,
do you
no,
got?
you were talking about those names. I got one for you. I just pulled the next one out. What about Blue Oyster Cult?
Shit.
Okay.
Were you the Reaper?
He was.
No.
Don't fear the reaper.
Don't fear me. Blue Oyster Cult was Soft White Underbelly. Is their cult
Original,
name.
Right.
That was our original.
So
was it?
Bobby Slayton was supposed to do this gig and calls me. He goes, "Hey, Gonzo, hey, how you doing? Hey, this is Bobby. Hey, I can't do the show. It's a band at the old Waldorf. You want to open for him?" I go, "Well, who is it?" It's Soft White Underbelly. Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know. Never. Even though I'd seen Blue Oyster Cult probably 5 times.
Yeah.
I didn't register to me.
Right.
So I go down there, and what a crowd! And it was 2 shows, and it was evil. It was just pure evil, but I lived through it. And after you do the first show, and then you go outside to take a break, and you see the line for the second show, and see how worse they are than the first crowd, you just want to go back and kill yourself.
Rowdy or what? What do you mean by
They're
evil?
just they all got tattoos scratched into their arms with pocket knives with the upside down cross and the
So they actually have
mark.
like culty people there?
Oh, these people are they're just hardcore rock and roll fans.
Okay. Jesus.
And the
Yeah,
radio
Blue Oyster-
station didn't help me any. KRQR, the rocker, had these buttons that were about this big with the straight pins on the back, and they're flicking those at the stage.
God.
Ice cubes, I
just-
fucked your mom.
So they're there to see rock.
Oh, they were there to rock, and they didn't give a shit about me. But I made it through the show, and I go. They were yelling, "Fuck you, fuck you!" I go, "Okay, I'll tell you what." I tell you what. How about I sing a phrase and you yell "fuck you"? And they're like, "Fuck yeah!" I go, "Okay, hi, fuck you." That's great. So I had them doing what they wanted, and then they all cheered at the end of that, and I thought, "Fuck, I got them,"
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
It's a good fucking
I did
trick.
the second
yeah.
show and lived through that. And then about a year later, they're back in town, and I get a phone call from David Myrie from Bill Graham Presents, and he goes, "Hey, Gons, I got a request for you." "Oh, you got a show?" Yeah. Soft White Underbelly's back in town, and they want you to open the show. I go, "Yeah, fuck you. You guys got a bet in the office to see if I'll go along with this, don't you?" And he goes, "We just wanted to." I go, "Okay, here's what I want. I want this much money, and I want an ambulance parked outside the club just in case." And he's just laughing. And I go, "I'm serious."
Yeah.
But they asked for me. Buck Dharma and those guys, they liked me. So because they thought this guy's got balls to do this.
Their crowd didn't eat you up, yeah.
Oh yeah, they ate me up, but I spit them up. And, I ate them back. So
Was the second one as rough as the first show?
I ended up doing it like 7 times. I mean, every time they came to town, I just did it. But I started using my electric guitar. I wrote more stuff. I got louder. I got in their face, and they just expected Dr. Gonzo to open the show.
That's fucking awesome.
That's fucking rad.
I became part of the cult.
That's
These
so
guys are just
cool.
short little Jewish guys from New York.
Yeah.
If their fans could see them backstage eating sushi and wearing
Is
their
that the
eyes
way
out,
it was,
sure.
really? I can
And then they
totally
slap
see
on the
that.
leather and they put the mirrors on the back of the guitar with the lasers, and you're like, yeah.
Well, it was like
So
it
it's
was
similar to Kiss, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
Like
just
Kiss
4
taking the
nerdy
makeup off.
fucking nerdy
guys.
Jews from New York.
Yeah, exactly what they were.
If
But
you
they were
listen
great.
to their songs. It took a lot of intelligence to even construct that shit, though. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was.
Oh, they knew what they
those
were
were
doing.
some fucking amazing. Just
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he said they were Jews.
and I bet live they probably jammed forever, right?
Oh, they were great. Buck Dharma is one of my favorite guitar players. And then they were at the, I know Night Ranger guys because I toured with them, and so they were at the State Fair. And Blue Oyster Cult was on the lower on the bill. It was got a little change in my pocket going jing-a-ling.
Georgia Satellites.
Georgia Satellites first,
Yeah.
which would be a great tent band at the
Sure,
fair.
yeah, it would
and
be.
then Blue Oyster Cult was on, and then Night Ranger, and then Cheap Trick, I think, was the headliner. So I'm backstage, and I saw the sign on the door that said Blue Oyster Cult, so I just walked right in and said, "Hey, remember me, Dr. Gonzo?" He goes, "Gonzo, man, no chicken salad, no show." They knew. I mean, they understood.
Was that in your rider, chicken
No, that
salad?
that was in their rider. That was a Danny Shear who worked for Bill Graham Present. They said he made the best chicken salad. So,
Really? I'd
so
like to picture your
I have
rider
that
was
T-shirt
just a
somewhere in a
chicken
box. It's just a blue T-shirt that says "No chicken salad, no show."
That's
From
hilarious.
Soft White Underbelly, and but I became part of that thing, which was great. And
Yeah.
I got some current pictures of me and Buck Dharma.
That's awesome.
Buck
Yeah,
Dharma.
they sound like fucking lunatics.
Yeah, they're all crazy.
We have Eric Idle or George Brett, George Brett? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
George Brett. Those are both pretty cool ones because they're both kind of happenstance. Eric Idle just happened. I got off stage one night. I was taping myself at the Punchline in San Francisco, and I got off stage and they wanted me to come back for an encore. And just as I got off stage and was walking back to the bar, there's Robin Williams and Eric Idle standing there. Robin was taking him club hopping just to kind of show him what the comedy scene was like, and he just happened to pop in there.
And he saw your set.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I got to go back on. It was one of those moments where Eric thought it was funny. And then I did my encore, and then I got off, and then I kind of clubbed around with these guys for a little bit. We went to Holy City Zoo and the other cafe. It was a lot of fun.
That's so cool. And like, did it fuck with your head that they were both there watching your set?
It didn't really fuck with my head. Just because Robin had seen me before, and Eric is he was just sort of going, "What is this?" You know, I mean, he's
starstruck by the whole thing.
Well, he was kind of
experience.
Trying to figure it all out. I mean, because I don't think they had the comedy scene like they have here in the United States. He's more of a sketch actor and whatever. So he was just kind of enjoying Robin, showing him.
Well, I can imagine too. I mean, when you've got the fucking frenetic Coke '80s pace of Robin Williams and just the comedy scene at that time compared to the more probably laid back one man show story style presentation of England.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, it had to be jarring for him.
It was just different. It was just different. He was just enjoying the shit out of it and just watching everybody just being different and weird. Because everywhere we went, there was a different comic on stage, and so it was. He got to meet a lot of different people, and it was cool. And the George Brett story, real quick. I got to know Steve Jeltz, who played shortstop for the Phillies back in the '80s. I met him at a card shop in Kansas where he grew up, and so anyway, he got traded to the Royals his last year playing ball. And I was at the Comedy Magic Club at Hermosa, and the Angels were playing the Royals. And so I got a hold of him at the hotel, and he said, "Well, come down. The game will be in." And I go, "My show will be over. I'll drive down." And it was a couple longer drive than I thought, but I got there just as the team bus was pulling up the hotel. Well, so I'm sitting at the bar with my buddy Jeltz, and Brett comes in and sits down with us, George Brett, and they'd lost like 9 games in a row. And I was just talking to George, and he goes, "Man, this is really sucking. We're on skids and all this stuff." I said, "You know what? Comics, when they're on stage and they're bombing and things aren't working right, they try too hard, and you just got to tell your teammates, hey, it's just a game. Let's just go out and play ball, not just relax. Yeah, I'm sure you've been through these slumps before, and I'm sure you'll snap right out of it. Hey, man, yeah, okay." And so the next day they win. And then the next day in the newspaper, George Brett quotes everything that I said to him at the bar. And I wish I'd have kept that. It might be a box away. I keep finding all these weird things. But
did he mention you?
No, he goes, "Man, we were just pressing too hard. It's just a game." And I told everybody we just got to relax. I'm going, "What the fuck?" That's everything I told him at the bar. But he's probably with the press guy that they go to all the time in the locker. He probably wanted something to say. And I'm sure he's had to say that in the past. Who knows?
Goes, I've always said.
I've always said, yeah. And I'm like,
that's like some Back to the Future shit. The one thing that you said to him turned everything around.
Yeah, it turned around, and then they won the pennant.
Yeah.
It's because of me.
Based on
I don't know.
The rest of your life so far, I thought that story was going to end, and they put me into the game, and I fucking knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, but my pine tar was too high up on my bat.
I thought it was going to be he killed himself the next day.
Yeah.
I told him just keep trying.
Yeah, okay.
Sean Penn. That's not a name that I...
Did I tell you the story about meeting those guys at the hotel?
You did.
Oh, you
yeah,
did.
yeah.
That's right. Okay. That was on the last one.
That's when they all looked at me.
That was a fucking good one.
And they went right back. Who else was on that one?
Quarter Flash.
Quarter Flash.
I don't know who Quarter Flash is.
Quarter Flash. You got a hard my heart.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Randy Ross and the saxophone.
Yeah.
I told you that was in the round. Well, I got an endorsement from Ovation Guitars, and they sent me a special 1983 edition. It's a shallow dish. It was black with a gray sunburst on it, and they only made like 100 of them.
Holy shit! You still have that?
I had number 46. Well, I got airline lost it, but that's another story. That's another story. But I had it at the time, so I'm sound checking, and the guitar player comes in and starts screaming at me. He thinks I picked up his guitar, and sure enough, I turn around. He's got one just like it, right over there.
Yeah.
And I go, "Man, what's your serial number?" And it was like 52. I go, "Mine's 46." So go fuck yourself.
You said that?
Yeah. So I said, "Go fuck yourself." And then he kind of laughed.
That's
because he was like, "Holy shit, this commie's.
That's hilarious.
He must be something if he got an endorsement from fucking Ovation Guitars."
How'd you get the endorsement?
Because I started sending them pictures. I was on tour with fucking Huey Lewis in the News. They know that I'm carrying this guitar out in front of thousands of people every night. So
They wanted a billboard, yeah.
You had to be one of the first musical comedians to get an endorsement through.
I don't know.
One of those. I would assume.
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know.
was anybody else doing what you were doing at the level you were doing it? You had to be the first, right? I mean,
I don't know. I know there was a guy, Dennis Blair, that was opening for George Carlin a lot. He did musical stuff. Dana used a guitar every once in a while in his act. And,
right. But I mean, just in terms of like a comedian opening for a rock band.
I never kind of put it in a perspective where I thought, I'm the best one that's ever done that.
I'm a pioneer.
Well, I just wonder, though.
I just had some good years,
Yeah.
And,
I just wonder if you were the first. I mean, I guess.
I don't know, but they were real nice to me. They were out of Connecticut, and they sent me a really nice. And then when that guitar got stolen, that was hard. I went
the
through
airline?
my insurance. Yeah, Alaska Airlines. Boy, I wanted to kill them. Somewhere between Seattle and Fairbanks, it got lost.
Oh man.
And and then I had when I was in Alaska, I'm doing this gig up there, and then I borrowed a guitar from a guy, and it was kind of rusty and shitty, and I used a belt for a strap, and it was just just so makeshift. It was unbelievable. And then my other guitar guy was in a car wreck one time, and I had to use a loaner in Lincoln, Nebraska. Actually, there was a guy that fixed instruments like cellos and stuff, and so he fixed my guitar. We'd been in a car accident, and he fixed my guitar, but while it was being glued back together and stuff, they let me borrow this blue, because I want something with a cutaway. The only thing they had was this bright blue guitar. I felt like Buck fucking Owens, But and there was one guitar I wish I would have bought years ago in Des Moines, Iowa, in a music store. It was in the window, in the inlay on the neck. It said in mother of pearl, it was "Your name here." I tried to buy that guitar from them. They said, that's a display model. I go, I want that. Yeah. You don't know what that would do for me. Just come out there and swing the guitar on "Your name here." Thought that'd
be amazing. No, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
Anyway, it's over.
You would have been an even larger pussy magnet at that time, man.
Yeah,
this could be your name, baby.
Yeah,
all right, I got two good. I got two good ones. Three Dog Night.
Okay.
We'll start with that one.
Okay. Three Dog Night was at the Santa Cruz County Fair. The theme that year was the Days of Swine and Roses.
The Days of Swine and Roses.
It was a fair, It was the Santa Cruz County Fair, and I got asked to open the show, and so I went out and did the show, and I call it moat comedy. You've been to a fairground where they got the track between you and instead of letting people out on the track,
right?
It was nobody on the track. Everybody was back here. It was like moat comedy. You're just. Can you hear me? Okay.
That's gotta be the worst, yeah.
Oh, it was weird, but it was kind of cool because I got to watch Three Dog Night do all their fucking hits.
That's
Three
awesome.
Dog Night had a million freaking hits. So the only thing that was funny about that was pretty much the Days of Swine and Roses. I wish I had more stories about those guys, but
that's still a pretty fucking cool story. I wish I would have fucking.
Well, fairs are
awful. The death of entertainment.
Money was fine.
Yeah.
The death of entertainment.
Why do you think Bob Dylan still plays state fairs?
Yeah, they pay.
And he's on the bus going out before the crowd's out of their seats.
Do you find a giant disconnect with the audience when they're on the other side of the moat?
When you're doing, see, you got to remember in my day, they didn't have the big screens.
Yeah, exactly. So it's even
worse.
worse.
Now they got the big screens so people can see your acne.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
At least they can be involved in the show. Yeah.
When I do a big show, what I love is having the sign guy on the side doing sign while you're doing your show. That's freaking hysterical.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah, because
somebody cares.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. He's going, my fingers are going to explode.
That happened to me at a show here recently, but I didn't realize there was a sign woman.
Oh, really?
So I didn't know how she was doing it, and I'm like, what are you doing, throwing up gang signs over here and shit? And I'm like, and then now she is like continuing the conversation that I'm having with the exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, he went on, like several people before him pointed out, Kyle doesn't pay any attention, and then...
You weren't paying attention.
Why are you not facing me?
Yeah. Well, I'm just like, sorry, any normally intelligent human being could understand that, but I'm like, look at this cocky bitch throwing some shit up.
You think you're better than me?
Get the fuck out of here. You can't even listen to me.
Rude ass bitch.
Why are all these people looking at you? Yeah. It didn't work
because
out.
Everybody's deaf in the crowd. They can't hear you.
I'm like, because we're in Jacksonville, and they are from the Illinois School of the Deaf.
Did not know that at the time. Did not know that.
Yep.
That's right.
Fine institution.
Yeah. So we have, the other one on this was Cheech Marin.
Oh, Cheech Marin was that was backstage at the Universal Amphitheater in L.A. Opening for Huey. all these local celebs, because Huey was huge at the time, and everybody was showing up. L.A. Rams, Dodgers, just people all over backstage. And, and anyway, these two Stone guys had Cheech Marin up against the wall going, "Oh, dude, we've seen all your movies. They're so hot." And he's just like going like this. And because all those athletes were backstage, I just kind of poked in between them. I stuck my hand out to Cheech Marin. I go, "Davey Lopes, hell of a second baseman. I've been a fan for years." And these two dudes go, "Davey Lopes?" And then he walked away. And Cheech Marin's like, "That's fucking hysterical, man." He goes, "Do I really look like Davey Lopes?" I go, "You do right now." I just did that to get those kids away from him. And he goes, "Now who are you?" I go, "I'm the comic that's opened the show." "Oh, fuck." He goes, "That's fucking hysterical."
I've heard that he isn't at all like the character in the
No,
movies.
he's a pretty down to earth guy. He's an art collector too. I'd love to
Really?
see his artwork.
I thought he didn't smoke weed. I thought Cheech did,
Never
but
smoked
he didn't.
weed a day. No.
Yeah, never day in his life. I know Chong is
I mean, Chong,
well,
rather.
Chong is more similar
Tommy
to
Chong.
the character.
All my
yeah.
friends that work with Tommy Chong go, "Man, that dude smoked all my pot."
Yeah.
I go, yeah. That's
maybe-
why I don't work with him.
Or maybe he's just straightened out since then.
Yeah.
But like Chong is like the kind of embodiment of a stoner,
Right.
And just playing
Chong
himself.
was on what
but
that
Cheech-
'70s show, and
Yeah.
Cheech Marin was on those other TV shows with who was the guy that was on Miami Vice?
Oh, was it
Don Johnson?
Yeah,
They're in San Francisco.
That's right. It's more of a cop show
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
And he was on
was
those.
his buddy in that one.
Yeah, and he was in From Dusk Till Dawn too.
Yeah, he's
played
on a shitload of Robert Rodriguez movies.
yeah.
best
Yeah.
character ever. This is dry pussy, wet pussy, big pussy.
Yeah, okay. He works.
If you're interested in seeing Selma Hayek's titties, check out that movie.
Yeah. Whoa.
Who wouldn't be?
They are top
I
shelf.
I'll just Google
I assure
that.
you.
Google. Get it.
Kenny Loggins.
Oh man.
Oh, the Kenny
and
Loggins
then
story.
Mark Russo in parentheses.
Oh yeah. Well, Mark Russo was with the Yellow Jackets, which is a jazz fusion band, but he also played with the Tower of Power. And I made the mistake of calling him a note Melvin. I didn't realize that was a really bad thing to call somebody that.
The fuck's a note Melvin?
And note Melvin's just somebody that plays all the notes, because when he plays sax, it's like, he's fucking awesome. But Mark.
Oh, it's a good thing.
But I knew Mark from touring with Huey Lewis, and he's on all the Doobie Brother videos that you see these days. Anyway, he's got real long hair, and so he's playing sax with Kenny Loggins, and I'm doing 5 nights with Kenny Loggins up at the Paul Masson Winery.
Yeah.
And so the first night I opened the show, Kenny's there, and he's like, "Hey man, we're getting ready to go on a big tour. You play your cards right this week, and Kenny likes you. Maybe you can go on the road." I said, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
So I just did well every night. And the first night I did my show, and then I went out and I watched Kenny. Kenny came out with his long hair. He comes out acoustic and starts playing and doing great. And the next night he comes out, and I do the show, and I watch him, and he comes out the second night. He's got his hair up like a samurai, like samurai delicatessen, like John Belushi did. He's got his hair up and kind of looks weird. And the girls don't really say anything that night. And then the third night, his hair's down again. The girls are, "Oh my God, it's Kenny Loggins." Fourth night, his hair's up again, and they don't say anything. So the fifth night, I get off stage, and so Rousseau's introducing me to him just as he's getting ready to go on, and he goes, "This is Dr. Gonzo, and he's toured with us with Huey Lewis, and he's been out with Joe Walsh and stuff." And Kenny goes, "Well, I hear you're really funny, man, and we're getting ready to do this tour." And I go, "Hey, I just want to tell you, man, I've really enjoyed your show every night. You got a great band, and coming out at the beginning is just awesome. Chicks really dig it when your hair's down, but when your hair was up, they weren't really saying anything. I was watching your show every night." He goes, "What's wrong with my hair?" They go, "Ladies and gentlemen, what's wrong with my fucking hair? Kenny Loggins, what's wrong with my fucking hair?" And he's walking on the stage, going, "What the fuck's wrong with my hair?" I mean, just all freaked out, and he walks out. And I turned to Rousseau, and he goes, "I don't think you're going to be going on tour with us." And I went,
God.
"Because of his fucking hair, and if he's that sensitive, I don't want to hang out with a guy like
is
that."
fucking
But
hilarious.
that was
So did you?
what's wrong with my fucking hair?
Did you wind up going?
No,
on? I love that.
I didn't do the tour.
Dude, those are the funniest. There was, Tammy Pascatelli.
Yeah,
She.
I've known Tammy for.
Oh, you have? Okay, you work with her. Yeah, she's super fucking talented, right? And I remember one time on the radio show, she told us the most hilarious story. She was at a comedy club and she's getting ready to be introduced, right? And there's she's been coming to the same club for years, and there's this, guy that she has a relationship, a friendship with, John Smith, whatever, right? Who is the house MC. Okay. Well, she gets up to the club after working there for 10 years, and as they're introducing her, she notices that John isn't there this week. And she asks the MC, she goes, "Hey, what happened to John?" And he goes, "Oh, he died. Give it up for Tammy Pascatelli, everybody." And she walks out. She said, wait, what?
Yeah, that helps your brain.
I must have fucked it with, what's wrong with my hair? What's wrong with my fucking hair?
What's wrong with my fucking hair? And then he goes out and sings, whatever fucking song you open up with, and I go, I'm just going to go get paid and go.
I guess I'll just go home.
I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever seen a picture of Kenny Loggins. I mean, I don't
think I have either.
I don't but I think of I'm all right, and then step into the day.
Worry about me.
I think of the songs. I don't think of
Footloose.
I don't think of a pussy magnet. I don't think of maybe
when he was with
was.
Loggins and Messina, him and Jim Messina, they just long-haired 70s guys,
Really? Fuck.
Tell me I'm the lucky one. Has just begun. And we're gonna have a son. Anyway.
Yeah, anymore. You might have fucking quit rock after you talked to him.
That's all right. Probably quit everything.
We got Men at Work.
Oh, Men at Work.
Colin Hay.
Colin Hay came back. I opened for Men at Work at the Kabuki in San Francisco, and after I was done, it was their first American tour. It was their first date, I think, was in San Francisco because they're going to start on the west and work their way east.
Was that the safety dance, or am I thinking Men Without Hats?
No, this is
Land Down Under.
Burns When I Pee Now.
Burns when I pee.
Is that a real song?
No, it's Who Could It Be Now? Who could it be now?
Yeah.
I come from the land down under.
Yeah.
And it's worst sax solo ever. Anyway, so he came backstage and was looking for some Jack Daniels, but I don't know if you noticed, but his eyes go all over the place. He's sort of like Marty Feldman. But he came backstage, he goes, "Hey, do you know where I can get some Jack Daniels?" And when he's looking at me, he's looking over both shoulders. I've had people look at me with one eye.
Sure, yeah.
But both of them, I'm like,
where do I look?
yeah, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And he starts laughing, and then he kind of focused on.
Wait, did you actually say where the fuck are you?
I didn't know what else to say because I'm like, "What the fuck are you looking
That's
at?"
a ballsy move.
Well, that was just funny.
To tell a cockeyed man, what the fuck are you looking at?
What the fuck are you looking at?
That is fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna find the center.
That's pretty much the Colin Hay story there. That was just a fun show, and that was a good crowd. Real 80s kind of night. I don't know what I was wearing that night, but
I love that music video for Land Down Under. It takes place in like the 1600s, and there's power lines all over the background.
Oh, yeah.
It's the cheapest fucking looking thing I've ever seen.
Good, I like that.
Ricky Nelson.
Yeah, Ricky Nelson. I let my friends into that show. Kevin Meaney and Steve Pearl came to see that show, and I don't know if I told you that story or not.
No, I don't think so. Were they big Ricky Nelson fans?
No, I opened the show, and then I was out there sitting with him, and while Ricky was on, and it was all middle-aged women, that grew up with him, and Ricky goes, "What do you want to hear?" And Meaney goes, "Whipping Post!" And the guitar player just about split his gut laughing. There's a big tattoo guy playing guitar, just starts laughing, and Ricky's like, "Did I write that? Is that one of mine?" He didn't have a fucking clue. Whipping Post. So that's
oh, God.
And then he was dead shortly after that. So
you might have fucking killed him. It might have been
it was my fault. I was the one smoking the fucking crack on the fucking airplane.
Oh, is that what got him?
DC-3 went down on New Year's Eve.
Smoking crack?
No.
Okay.
They said he was smoking cocaine or something on the plane. But I don't know if that was true or not. Because when I worked with him, it looked like he'd just come out of one of those isolation tanks, where you never age.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was one of those guys that was
He may have been a
aging.
vampire.
Yeah, that's not crack. That's definitely not crack.
Yeah.
What about the other side of that's Carlos Santana, man?
Oh, Santana. Let's see. My Santana's okay.
Did you write Smooth?
Yeah, I wrote Smooth.
That's awesome.
And I worked with him a few different times, but he came up to me just before I was opening for him at the Kabuki Theater, and he goes, "Gonzo, be nice." I go, "Your family's here, aren't they?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay." It's just one of those moments.
Santana said that to you?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He goes, "Gonzo, be nice." I go, "Your family's here, aren't they?" He goes, yeah. So
What's
his family
that?
was all up in the balcony and stuff.
What year would that have been?
I don't know.
70s, 80s,
you know,
80s?
again, I'd have to look through all
Yeah.
the stuff and figure it out.
He's been around forever and a fucking
he's
day,
great, man. His big break was at Woodstock.
Yeah, he
you
played
know?
at Woodstock.
Which was
Isn't
just
that-
awesome. And he was, Bill Graham says that he used to sneak into the Fillmore when he was a kid. I mean, he was only, I think he was maybe 20 years old at Woodstock, and his drummer was 16. You know, and he was
Fucking
just awesome.
prodigy, man.
They were wonderful. And he took mescaline.
I was gonna say
just
that's
before
what
he
it
went on.
was.
That's the story. And he
And-
said he said it was like wrestling a snake the whole time he was playing
Yeah.
the solo because he goes, I was just trying to concentrate on the song, man, but it was just like it just kept trying to get away from me, man.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I heard. Is he kept
but
doing
that's
that
his
on
story.
mescaline,
and it's,
yeah.
I wonder if that made
good.
him like focus harder. You
Probably.
know, like if it made
he
him.
plays so
fucking-
good, but he's so spiritual. I mean, he's the most down to earth person, and he's very. I'm sure he still smokes weed all the time, but he's very. He's so centered and
Sure.
real, and you know.
Well, if you've been in the fucking rock game since the '60s and
Yeah.
you're still alive and kicking
Yeah.
and touring,
Jesus
and still
Christ.
doing great. I mean, he still
Yeah.
plays great. I mean, and all kinds of. You know, all kinds of influences. You know, he's got a real jazz
oh
influence
yeah,
too. He's
well, I mean, like, but he wasn't afraid of pop. He wasn't afraid
no,
of like
no,
the
he
Michelle
wasn't afraid
Branch
to do anything,
songs
you know,
and,
huh?
yeah, he had that late career renaissance 20 years ago, like
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago. He was just huge.
and he'll come back around again. He's one of those guys.
I saw. Okay, go with yours.
Well,
I was gonna say Steve Miller Band.
Yeah, Steve Miller. I was up in San Rafael playing a nightclub, and Billy Gibson, Huey's drummer, showed up with this guy from the Kingston Trio, and this other guy he said was Steve Miller, who looked like this kind of chubby accountant guy with the glasses.
But it wasn't Steve Miller.
Well, he goes, and this is Steve Miller. I go, yeah, right, and just joking around, and so the guy from the Kingston Trio pulls out some pot, and we smoke some pot, and whatever. So then the earthquake happened in '89, and we did the big show at the Cow Palace, and. Steve Miller is getting ready to go on stage. I go, hey, Steve Miller, Dr. Gonzo. And he goes, yeah, right.
That's hilarious.
Which was
That's
great.
hilarious.
He
yeah.
probably just dropped it right back on me, which
Yeah.
was just funny. I mean, I started laughing. Going,
Yeah.
That's right. I kind of blew you off. We smoked
Oh,
pot together,
God.
and I go, yeah, you're Steve Miller, right? And then I realized,
It really was Steve Miller.
was Steve Miller.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Wait, so this was when he was kind of still like he was big at that point. You had just never seen
yeah,
him.
this was '89.
Oh, it's 89. Oh, okay, so this was-
earthquake happened because all his big
Okay, I
hits were
got
like
you.
late '70s.
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
70, like yeah,
Time
70.
keeps on slipping
Yeah.
into the future.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
He had like one in the 80s. He had like Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. And
Abracadabra.
I went over and saw him over he was at the fair a few years back, and I went over and saw, and I was just so impressed with his catalog.
Oh,
I mean, because
yeah.
he's been playing for years.
Dude,
and,
his
I
greatest
mean,
hits, I wore that the fuck out.
There
man.
must be, he must have done 16 or 17 songs that knew them all and loved
Yeah.
them all, and they were all great.
Absolutely.
Do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do. I think that was Abracadabra. Kind of went like that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bunch of songs.
So he'll reach out and grab you. What about I see Eddie Money /
Oh, Eddie Money.
Greg Kinn?
Greg Kinn, yeah. I've got Eddie Money stories all over. I did 2 of his bachelor parties. Eddie was just
He
one of
did
those-
2 of his bachelor
yeah,
parties.
well, every
It
time he
worked
had a
out
hit
so
record,
well
he'd
last
get
time.
divorced, and then he'd have to give her all the rights to that just to pay her off. And
Oh, my
He'd
God.
have another hit record and get married and give all that away again. But
Is that why he had like about 12 hit records and he just kept on touring forever?
that's why he was always playing at Quincy racetrack.
Yeah, he
and,
was,
yeah,
yeah.
he'd play anywhere.
Necessity
But he always
is
played
the father.
He
Yeah.
always played every show like he was at the Madison Square Garden. No, I mean every show he
Yeah.
ever did, he went out there and put it out. But that show, I was opening for Greg Kinn at the somewhere in Hayward, California, and 2 shows. And my wife was with me, and the deal was she was gonna watch me open the first show. We're gonna watch the show, and then watch me open the second show, and then go home. And because it was late, and we had a kid, I think, at the time. And so, the first show, I'm backstage, and when I do my set, I go on, I come off, and Eddie Money's backstage, and there's a big pile of blow, and they're all, doing this blow and stuff. And then Eddie goes, "Hey man, thanks for the blow," and he leaves, and everybody's going, "That was his blow." So,
What a great guy.
Yeah. So the band goes on, and so they get off, and then I go backstage again. I'm getting ready to go on for the late show, and Eddie's back, and he's got Greg Kinn up against the wall going, "Hey, let's do that song together. You know that one where you go ooh, ooh and then I go ooh, ooh, and then we both go ooh, ooh together." And I'm going, "Oh, this is gonna be this is going to be brilliant. So I go out and I do my set, and I come off stage, and the band, you can just tell that the band's uneasy about Eddie being back there because, this is their show, and Eddie's just there. So I get off, and I come back, and I sit with my wife, and I go, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we're not leaving yet.
Yeah.
And the guy paid me, but I'm waiting. And sure enough, lights go down, and the way Greg likes to open the show, he doesn't like to do an intro. He just likes the band to start a groove. So the band does a groove, and then he walks out. So the band's doing this, and the crowd's all on their feet. And then Greg King comes out, and everybody, and then Eddie just comes bursting out from the side, comes up to the middle microphone that's on a boom, and he puts his arm, he's got his sax in his left hand, he puts his arm on the boom mic, and it collapses, and he falls right on his ass.
Oh, shit.
And now I can't see him because everybody's standing up, and he goes down, and Greg King goes, Eddie Money, ladies and gentlemen. He just kind of holds up the saxophone like this. And I go, we can go now. Because I don't want to watch anymore.
He couldn't possibly top this.
Oh, no. This is going to be, it's all going to get ugly after this.
He's doing a Charlie Chaplin physical routine.
And we left, and I went, so I saw Ken later, and I go, how did that go? He goes, he stumbled his way through a couple songs, and then he left. And I said, thank God, because just him coming out and falling down, and that was the funniest thing I ever heard, was you go, Eddie Money, ladies and gentlemen. You couldn't even see him.
Yeah,
fell down.
I love the cocaine ideas of
Yeah.
This like this sounds like a great idea on cocaine.
And then we'll do it together. Like, what the fuck am I? What am I looking at
That's
here? What's
the
going on?
fucking-
You could tell Steve Wright, the bass player's like going, and Larry Lynch, the drummer, they're all sitting there going, we're supposed to just do our show. And,
This is more than we bargained for.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
It's also the classic cocaine ideas of shit that sounds good.
Oh, everything sounds good when you're on cocaine. Yeah, we're going to fix the world.
Good and overly intense.
Yeah, and now I've got heart problems. Wonder why.
Life's a give and take.
Sure it is. Sure. We baited it up, though.
So I've got, one thing I wanted to ask you about was Star Search.
Oh, yeah. Well, Star Search was before the group that I was part of that season. There were a lot of actors on the comedy portion. You only got 2 minutes.
Like improv guys or like
improv actor guys, just whatever, trying to get some they were just trying to get some TV credits.
Yeah.
People trying to get their agents got it lined up so they could be on the show.
But like what'd they do?
Well, then they just went out and did a little skit. Moms are different than cats. You ever noticed that? And it was. I never thought the comedy was real good on Star Search, and I thought the whole concept of Star Search was goofy. Well, they started going to the comedy clubs, and about the time we did it in '86 or '87, whenever that was, they started. The list of comics was great. So you'd win one, and then you'd lose because the next guy, everybody do their best 2 minutes. So we just kept knocking each other off the whole season. But all the good comics were on there that season, and I think that it might have been the year that. Who won that year? I think Al Lubell won the year that I was on, and Al Lubell was an ex-attorney that. Looked real good in that square because his suit was kind of crooked, and he was this kind of nice Jewish kid with a big haircut.
That name's I recognize that name.
Al's been around for a while. But yeah, the Star Search thing was bizarre. I went down there and I beat, who did I beat? Does magic. Anyway, doesn't matter. Puppet magic, whatever.
Okay, puppet magic.
But I got a perfect score, and I got 4, 4, 4, 4. I was like, okay. But it's just because I put together a tight 2 minutes.
It was your best 2.
And then suddenly I'm like, okay. And then so the next one is just put another 2 minutes together. But the judges that time was Dick Martin from Rowan and Martin's Laughing was one of the guys, and some guy from 8 is Enough, Willie somebody, but they just thought they really liked me.
Yeah.
But Dick Martin was a good friend of Ed McMahon's.
Oh, okay.
And so after the show, I was waiting for the shuttle to get back. Well, those guys had been drinking backstage or whatever. Anyway, Dick Martin comes out. Hey, kid, you're great, man. I really enjoyed it, And here's a guy that I loved watching when I was a kid on Laughing, And he goes, you remind me of me. You're just a skinny kid with a thing. And he's okay, well, hey, good luck to you, man. So he got these Jaguar drove off, and I thought, I probably should have driven him home. That guy's pretty wasted. And took the shuttle back, and then I stayed, and I got to tape another one, and then I went against Vic Henley.
Okay,
who just passed away recently, but Vic had worked here, and Vic beat me by a couple of points, but we got to hang out with spokesmodels, and then he got beat the next week, and then whoever was on the next week, they got beat. It was just really
the
interesting.
cycle, yeah.
It was just a cycle because they got the good guys, and club guys.
Yeah, how'd you get on there?
I don't know. They just saw me and contacted me. So
they contacted you.
But I used but that was right when I was going through I wanted to drop the Dr. Gonzo and just go by my real name for a while, just to see what it was like to work without my guitar, take the net away for a little bit, and so I went on as John Means because my grandma was still alive.
Okay.
And she never really understood the Gonzo thing, so I just went on as John Means. So she got to be the talk of the nursing home. They all gathered around and watched me on the thing, and I made some faces, and they were laughing at my setups, and I'm like, I only got 2 minutes, folks. Calm down. Let's get on through this. So that was a fun little thing, and then I got checks in the mail, and then I got more checks because they reran it, and it was kind of nice.
You got some residuals from it.
That's
nice.
A little. It'd be nice to live on Ranch El residual. Like people like Seinfeld and Alan Alda from MASH, and Mary Tyler Moore probably made some change. She was the one that kind of really was the spearhead,
like the driving force behind those shows.
Yeah, because like Gilligan's Island, those people never got shit. Andy Griffith Show, stuff that gets played all the time.
Really, Don Knotts didn't get like any extra money on the back end from that show. That's awful.
No, you just got paid for doing that. So you just got, you got whatever fame. You go out and sign things and show up and do Ghost and Mr. Chicken movies. Don Knotts was in a lot of really shitty movies that we all watched up here at the RLE when we were kids.
The shakiest hand in the West.
Yeah.
How long?
Gang.
How long did you go by just John Means?
About 6 months, and then I said, "Fuck this, man! Gonzo makes a lot more money."
So you were doing.
So then I opened for myself. Now this was a weird thing.
Okay.
At the Punchline, I booked a week where John Means opened for Dr. Gonzo, and my friend Warren Thomas was emceeing. So he would go out and do like 15 minutes, bring up John, and then do like 10 minutes in between while I changed clothes and came back as Dr. Gonzo.
Did you dress wacky or?
Yeah, I came out in a suit and a tie as John Means and told family stuff because I had a kid and I was living in the suburbs, and so I was doing all that material.
So you did your traditional act.
Yeah, and then I came back as Dr. Gonzo and did the sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing at the end in a sweatshirt and a ball cap. And it was really weird because a lot of people didn't know, and I'm like going, really?
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Were the drinks that good that you didn't know that I was two different people?
I've heard that. There's a guy, his name is like Tommy, and he has a show in a barn out in South Carolina. Is that ringing any fucking bells?
No.
But he does two different characters.
Okay.
And he says he'll open one as himself, and then the second one.
What's his name? Who does from Bob and Tom? Who does Donnie Baker?
Donnie
Baker.
Yeah, Ron
He
Sexton.
opens up as the truck driver.
Yeah, the truck. Right. But he said the same deal. But with him, he just combs his hair differently.
Yeah.
And he says there's still people that don't.
Well, I had my glasses on, and boy, what was weird for me was touching the microphone, taking the mic out of the stand.
Oh, yeah, because you're a guitar cat. Yeah.
I was always doing more of the rock thing with the mic. If I was walking with I took the whole stand with me.
So is either that or just guitar?
Well, because I had the guitar, so I never really took it out. So when I was doing John, it was like holding a penis in my hand. It was just like, what do I do with it?
This thing's gay.
I realized that you have to work on your bits where, have it in the mic stand when you need both your hands and have it out.
Oh, yeah.
So moving it down. So I was learning. But it was great. I learned a lot. And I even went back in the comedy competition again, just as John Means. And, I did pretty good, but I didn't make it to the semis. But
so did they like the material, the John Means material?
Yeah, I mean, it went over fine, but John Means wasn't going to make the money that Dr. Gonzo was making.
Sure, right.
So,
did you work any of the John Means jokes into the Dr. Gonzo set?
Oh,
later on?
after I went back to being Dr. Gonzo, it all blended together.
Right.
And worked, Yeah, and then that's when the guy says, do 39 minutes and sprinkle the guitar. He's just talking about, just do a little bit of this and then something like this, show him something shiny, and then some of this, and then something shiny, and then, just keep it mixing it up. And that's when I developed that act that could play everywhere.
Right.
Because that was back in '87, I think, is when I dropped to Gonzo for about 6 months. And then after that, suddenly I had this chunk of other material that I could incorporate in with the other material. It was just kind of figuring out how to put it all together.
But
then he changed his name to a symbol for a second.
Yeah, for a little while, I was a question mark.
Did Dr. Gonzo become its own character? Like outside of just you performing?
Not really. I mean, Dr. Gonzo was really me. I mean, it was just more the fun of being introduced and walking up on stage with a grin on your face going, I can't believe you still call me Dr. Gonzo.
So the only real difference was just not having the guitar when you went by just
Pretty
your name.
much, and the clothes.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
How
you
I
dressed.
Yeah.
You dressed
Yeah,
a little wackier.
I dressed real straight when I was just trying to be a straight monologist. Mm-hmm. So I tried to look like everybody else, had a suit and a tie and wore a watch so I knew what time it was. And, you know, oh, look at the time. Or I'd do a bit where I was doing the thing so I could check my watch. I don't know. I was just trying to use all the tricks. I never got to MC. I don't know if I told you this before, but that it was really kind of a different thing. And then it was kind of cool because then I could host some things every once in a while. I don't know. I was just learning how to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, which is good. It involves you as a performer.
Yeah, my wife didn't like to cut in the money though. At the time, she goes, "What? You're only going to make how much?"
Baby, I'm more artistically full right now.
But that week I opened for myself, I got paid middle and headliner money. That
I was going to say, fucking time and a half.
Double
Shit,
dip.
I can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
hold on, what are we talking about?
Oh, I thought you were going to do this for free.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'm not going to do this for free.
I said I brought my own opener and you're paying him.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
didn't say it was not me.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't say that.
Was that really the way it was, though? I mean, did they not know?
They knew what I
Oh,
was
they
up
did?
to. Yeah,
That would have been hilarious if you did that. Was it more creatively freeing? I mean, like to be introduced under a different name?
It was weird on a Friday when you're doing 2 shows, you know, because then I'm doing 4 shows, you know.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's where it got a little exhausting.
That's
you know?
yeah,
By the
that's-
late show Saturday night, man, I was kind of
Burned out, yeah.
I probably did a bump. I
Yeah.
don't know.
In between
I'm
those
guessing.
shows.
Yeah.
In between. He did
In
the bump
between
before
every
the
show.
Gonzo show.
I was
I probably did a lot of bumps. I
Did a
don't know.
bump in between the first joke and the second joke. You know how it goes.
Yeah, it was all what it was. So, but
Nice.
it was pretty intense, but it was fun too.
I mean that when you were performing as Dr. Gonzo, did you feel like you more freedom in terms of like, oh, I can write this joke that I might not do as Dr. Gonzo, or was it?
I
Was
don't
that
know.
not the
I don't
case?
know. They all kind of, like I said, it all kind of blended together. And Dr.
Right.
Gonzo, you know, there really wasn't that much difference other than how I looked on stage.
You should have had.
But I did open up with, yeah, that John Means guy's pretty good, wasn't he? Yeah, I'm fucking his wife. You know, of course, but that was my. It's a
Good
half-
fight.
I was
That's
doing
a
that for
nice
the MC
fighter.
and the bartenders because everybody that worked there knew what the fuck was going on.
Right.
And
That's
then we check
hilarious.
all the cushions after the show to see if anybody dropped a quarter gram or half gram.
How often did that happen?
You'd be surprised how
Really?
much drugs we found in those cushions at the punchline. Yeah.
Well, I lost
just about
my
every
weed.
club. I always check every club. After a show, I just roam around because somebody drop a cigarette pack and there'd be a $20 bill in it. You know, or
Yeah.
somebody
Oh,
drop
yeah.
a cigarette pack with a $20 bill and a half a gram in it. You know, and they're on their way home going, "Motherfucker, I dropped my."
Yeah, they are
You
aggressively
didn't see
mad.
a pack of cigarettes laying anywhere. Did it have a half a gram in it? Blah 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 blah. You know what we used to do? We'd find the snow seals, the little paper that they put the coke
Yeah.
in. You know, just fold them over, and we'd find an empty bindle, and then I'd write inside of it, and then I'd fold it back up and drop it, and then the
Oh,
the
man, there's gotta be
waitress
some
would find it, and,
pissed off
and
people
then
for
they'd
that.
be in the back going, "God damn you!"
That's
You'd open up, said,
hilarious.
"Not a winner, try again."
Oh,
you
my
know?
God.
Shit
That's
like
hilarious.
that.
Well, I mean, at that point, they can't say anything to you,
No.
right? They're going to be, I was stealing your shit and you fucked me.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dude, that's a good way to get a hole punched in a wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Somebody
so.
thinks they're about to blast off and then they get that.
Look at this. Look what I. Oh, you son of a.
Especially they've had it in their pocket. They've had it in their pocket all night, just
Yeah.
fucking getting ready for it.
Oh, fuck.
It's all stuck together from the humidity.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Fucking
chop
funny.
this up again. Yeah.
When I took my my shit sabbatical, did you guys talk about Star Search? Mm-hmm. You did? Okay, damn it. Fuck.
Yeah, that's all right. It was.
Did you win Star Search? I know you
No,
already
I just
said
won
this.
one.
God
I
damn,
got a
you're
perfect
such-
score the first time, and then I don't know what I got.
You and Ed McMahon? Did you talk to Ed McMahon?
Yeah, Ed McMahon, and here's what I did to him. When I shook his hand, I did one of these.
Did you really?
Didn't even flinch. Didn't even fucking flinch. I did it just because, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, I think you would. I think Ed McMahon never expected
Yeah.
that. No fucking.
He just
no-
went,
Oh, did he really?
I don't know if he was laughing at that or
Sure.
just, he was just doing his,
Dude.
because when we did the rehearsal, they just had a guy reading his lines, and then when we did, and the set was this shitty little cardboard thing.
Really?
Yeah,
As
and then
a
when
kid,
they turned
it
the
looked
lights
huge.
on, when they turned the lights on with the fisheye lens with the
Yeah.
sparkles and everything. You ever watch a Match Game
Yeah,
75?
yeah.
Shitty little plaster set with
Really?
sparkles in it. Yeah, and then just you turn the lights on it, and it just
It pops.
and,
I just
and
remember as
shag carpet.
a kid, Star Search, it was like the most because it was like just prestigious. It was a prestigious set. Like it looked
Search
beautiful.
of the Stars.
Yeah,
I was
man.
a little freaked when I first walked in. I go, this is it.
Yeah, I've heard that about like.
it'll look different when the lights are on.
This is where the magic
Because I
happens.
had to talk to the sound guy right away. I go, this is really a piece of shit. So he goes, yeah, tell me about it.
Well, and it was different too because it wasn't HD. Like,
and it wasn't HD, but it was a fisheye lens because
Right.
it made the crowd look bigger and made the set look wider and just everything. And then the dance thing, they would film all the dancers, in a rehearsal, and then they could use that for cut-ins. They made sure they wore the same clothes when they did the actual show live. So when they did it live, it was still being taped, but then they could cut together close-ups and this and that, so the camera went an array of all
fuck,
that.
I had no idea
okay,
they could
shit.
do all that.
Fucking Hollywood's bullshit.
And you got 120 seconds on the clock in front of you.
Yeah.
As soon as
You just see it counting down?
As soon as you make a noise, it starts clicking.
What happens if you go over?
They kill you. Your
Probably.
mic just goes dead.
Sure.
Yeah. You're done.
Have you? I always.
Just like in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I was getting ready to say
They
that.
take you outside and kick your ass.
I've heard that question. Have you heard some horror stories of guys who went over in Vegas? You went over in
I
Vegas.
went over 22. I did
What?
22. I did 22 minutes one night, and the guy came up and goes, "We can replace you with a buffet." And I
Yeah.
went, "That won't happen again."
Oh,
So
yeah.
I worked the thing out where I just got with 30 seconds left. I got the light.
Yeah.
And I made sure they shined it right in my fucking eyes so I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
But I knew about wearing my act to look up, and sure enough, there was a light. And I didn't care where I was. You've been great. Good night.
When you said 22, that you were scheduled to do 20
Yeah.
and you went 2 over. That's a big fucking yeah. Because I know I've heard the stories of like
Well-
taking the guy to the back and going, you went X amount of minutes over. We make this amount per minute. You owe us this much money.
Well, they didn't charge me, but that was my warning.
Yeah. At least you got a warning.
But what was also cool about that, though, when you're working the casinos, when you're like they had a comedy theater, and then they had Playboy girls of rock and roll, and they had magicians, and
so cool.
You'd be doing,
Sounds awesome.
but you're just doing different.
Sounds hard to fucking follow.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to, you're backstage and all these tits are out, and that's kind of distracting.
Like
Sure.
Donald Trump.
We had a couple chicks come out with a double ender that I had to follow them. That was
I
pretty
had to
fun.
follow, and then you had the Milt table. I'll never forget it. Milt was just freaked about this guy. He had 2 big cats. He had a panther and a tiger that disappear stuff in the cage and all this stuff. But we'd go on. We'd be the last show at night, and he would always walk the big cats out behind the curtain to the cage, out to their cage to go wherever they go. And they would always kind of hit the curtain on the way out, and that made Milt real jumpy on the stage. Well, those fucking crew guys just thought it would be funny one night when he was on. They just were tapping the curtain. Milt was like this, and then they grabbed him through the fucking curtain, and he about shit his pants.
Jesus Christ, you had to have a
about shit
fucking
his
heart
pants 'cause
attack.
He thought one of the cats got out, and they thought that was funny.
Jesus.
Of course, those guys are the same guys that fucked with me. I did. This is what it sounds like when doves die, and I take my guitar and I go, boom. Well, they took a feather duster and put it in this explosive bag thing up here, and I go, and bam, and these fucking feathers went flying, scared the fuck out of me.
Oh, you didn't
and
know it was gonna
they
happen.
didn't tell me shit, But they're all union stage guys that do all these fucking shows, so they get bored and they want to do something fun. And I was doing Bowel Moves by Bob Seger. Ooh, woke up late last night, the sound of thunder. A girlfriend had beans, and it makes me wonder. Ooh, and they put the smoke machine under the curtain, and suddenly all the smoke's coming out between my legs and stuff.
That's amazing.
They just fucked with me all the time. I go, let's do that again.
Yeah. Well,
They go, well, we can't do it with the feather duster. That's the only one we had. We blew it up.
That's the funny thing is like to fuck with you, they're making your show better.
Yes.
They're doing all these
exactly.
fucking amazing effects.
They're doing these amazing things, but they're not letting me in on it.
Why couldn't you tell me? I
Yeah.
can work with this.
We could have done this, man.
That's
fucking
hilarious.
But I didn't want to become a comic with pedals, and I didn't want on the
Yeah.
guitar to make all the different sounds.
full-blown prop
I
act,
wanted
yeah.
to be less is more.
Right.
It was bad enough that everybody was giving me shit about having a guitar, let alone having to have all the. Because there was another guy. What was his name? MTV had him on for a while. He was Dr. Jonathan Katz.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
The animation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan Katz was a guitar act guy.
Really?
And he was very funny and real low key. But he did a thing where he had a foot pedal, and he'd start playing this song. And he'd click that pedal, and then all this harmony would come in. He had all these background singers, and it just elevated it to here. And then they went away. And you're like, what the fuck just happened?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but he fucked with people that way. But those things you go, I really would like to do that, but I don't want to fuck with all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Less
it's
is
a
more.
whole fucking thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, I had a tape one time. I sang to a tape, and for this Cars thing parody that I did, and one night I was right in the middle of the song, and the tape fucking stopped, and I just froze. And my brain, all the bells and whistles are going off my head. What the fuck do I do? I'm just kind of frozen here right now until this thing. And it was about 5 or 6 seconds, and it came back in, and I went right back into the song. It was all the music, and I was just doing the live singing to it.
Yeah.
And I about shit myself. And afterwards, I went to the guy. I go, "What happened?" He go, "We don't know." I go, "Well, I'll check that tape out and make sure there's nothing wrong with the tape."
Yeah, that's fucking, man. That could have been a
it's
scary
one of those
moment.
scary live moments on stage where, oops. Your thing broke.
You're right. Yeah, and you know what?
Joe Walsh, I was working with him, and his thing for Life's Been Good, the thing goes,
Yeah, yeah.
We were in San Juan Capistrano, and it died. Right in the middle of the song, he goes, and the whole band went,
That's awesome.
and Joe went, you know, I mean, it was just one of those.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they're going, "Oh my God, the DAT machine dropped dead on us." So I gave him one night when we were touring. We stopped at a mall for something, and I bought a Disney classic, you know, with all these songs on it. So one night they ended the show and they said, "Good night, everybody." And then I put the CD in, and it went, "Hi ho," and then another speaker, "Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, it's home from work we go." That was at the end of the show. And Joe goes, "Can I have that?" I go,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's why I bought it. You know, I thought that'd be a cool way to end the show.
Yeah.
And then everybody just kind of marched out going, "Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho." So, and I'm sure Disney could have sued the shit out of them. I don't know. Who cares?
They don't sue people.
Yeah. They're not protective over their copyrights.
Oh.
Come on, motherfucker.
So I got a good one here. Jerry Garcia Band.
Oh, okay. So a lot of my friends were Deadheads, and I got to open for Jerry Garcia out at the Concord Pavilion, and got a picture in there with the band.
Yeah,
and,
flip to that.
But yeah, good lights in there somewhere. I don't know where, but so I'm backstage, and there's Jerry's guitar in the case. He's got a really unique handmade guitar, and so I looked around and nobody was there, so I just kind of put my fingertips on the guitar and went.
Took its power.
And then I went out and I did my show, and then I told all my dead friends that I did that to his guitar, and they're like, "Touch me, touch me." So they put their hands out, and I did. So it's that one step away from you know.
That's hilarious.
Kevin Bacon.
Did Jerry get his guitar and be like, "Who the fuck touched it?"
No, he didn't. He wouldn't have known any.
Who took some of my juice?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there.
Oh.
Next one.
Nice.
There's Garcia Band. There I am. That's Kenny Wardell from the radio station, and that's Merle Saunders, Bill Kreutzmann. I played with the Dead. And, yeah.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
What year was that, you said?
That was early, man. I don't know, 81, 82,
Wow.
82, 83.
So they're still fucking rolling at that point.
Oh yeah, I mean he was just going out doing whatever he wanted to on his own. I was a big fan of Old and in the Way, which was one of Jerry Garcia's albums from the old boarding house. He played with Vassar Clemens, but he's playing like bluegrass music. But
Did you mention that to him? Was that like your
I didn't really talk to him because I didn't, you know, just didn't have the, like I said, his guitar was just there, and I was looking around.
Yeah.
You know, so
Like you all like? I mean, to me, well, you mentioned this before when you were talking about the celebrities, like your way in. You know. Oh shit! Look at
Guy
that.
Clark, there's me, Greg Kinn, Billy Gibson, Joe Montana,
Jesus Christ.
Eric Martin. This was supposed to be a celebrity softball, and they moved us in because it was raining and we had to play basketball. I'm like, these guys could have been in the frickin' NBA, Keena Turner and these guys. You know, I lasted about 2 times up and down the court, but I made a couple baskets.
Did you really?
They launched the ball down to me, and I grab it, and they're all running at me, and I just put it in real quick.
That'd feel good.
I was still smoking at the time, so I wasn't really into running up and down the hallway there. My Disco Sucks
Look at
shirt.
that. That's your sexy pick right there. You're fucking covered.
That's my buddy Craig Chiquiso from Starship.
That looks like I thought it was Randy Rhoads from fucking Ozzy.
there you go.
I love the double neck
Yeah,
guitar.
I
That is
know.
the coolest fucking shit ever.
Playing Find Your Way Back. Find your way back. Nah, nah, nah. I go, you should do a McDonald's ad. Have a Big Mac. Nah, 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 nah. They go, shut up, Gonzo.
I thought that was gonna be like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Shut up, Gonzo.
Let me sign my big record contract with Little Roger and the Goosebumps. That's Little Roger who did Stairway to Gilligan's Island.
Really?
He was on Dr. Demento quite a bit.
Is that you selling actually signing the contract?
That's me signing the contract with these two guys with their record company. He was legit. He was the drug money.
Oh, drug money?
Oh, yeah.
You mean
That's how you make a record
I
label.
found out all. That's how you make records.
Which label was this?
Dub Lab.
Are they still around?
DUBLAB, no.
So the record label that you
had-
were on to put out your record, you think was financed by drug money?
That guy's in prison.
I feel like was financed
He's
by
still,
drug
Yeah.
money.
he's still living up in North Bay, but he's in prison.
Really? That's hilarious. So
That's right.
he was laundering money through that?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I love how he's in prison.
I don't. That's all I know, and that's only because I went out and saw the other guy, and he had some of my records left, so I grabbed some of the records and shipped them back. And matter of fact, that's where I got these pins. I forgot that I had all those pins too.
Dude, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's so
badass.
cool. Look at Gonzo. He doesn't fuck. He knows snitches get stitches.
Snitches get stitches. Everybody knows that.
Look at that motherfucker.
Hunter.
There's the real, not
Hunter
the
S.
real,
Thompson.
the original Dr. Gonzo,
Yeah,
not the
that's-
real.
that's it.
You're the real Dr. Gonzo.
He's
right here.
the crazy son of a bitch.
You're the
right
last
there.
man standing, aren't you? Fuck
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Huey Lewis in the news.
Yeah, one of their promo pics.
Look at those motherfuckers. You can just.
This guy took this picture of me with some kind of weird filter on there. I thought, well, that's cool.
That looks fucking awesome.
I look like I'm out of my fucking mind there.
Looks like it looks like we can see you tripping.
Me in front of a band again.
We can see you fucking rolling right
There's
there.
me with Greg Kinn and Jimmy Lyons played the lead guitar on Eddie Money's 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's,
That's awesome.
There's another one of those softball. That was a different one. But Huey would always pick me and that's Nina Blackwood from MTV was playing, and just a whole bunch of people, celebs.
Why would he always pick you to be in the?
Because I'm a gamer
Yeah.
when it comes to softball. You saw me in that picture.
Came to
I know,
fucking
I did.
play.
I saw you. I came to play. Yeah.
I was skinny, but
Yeah.
hit it down my throat. I dare you.
I love how serious he just got. He goes, don't you fuck with me.
I'm a gamer. I just love
that shit.
playing ball, man.
That's awesome.
And yeah.
That's awesome. Normally, smoking and ball don't go together like you.
Yeah,
So look
I
at that
know.
fucking sexy ass.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You got a fuck. I love the guitar. It's like a flying V guitar.
Yeah. Pin.
Pin on you. You
Yeah.
got the
I like this one. That's my manager and that's my agent. Pulling up my tie.
That's awesome.
You know.
How old are you in this picture?
Oh God, I don't know. Late 20s,
It's hilarious.
early 30s.
No, you in the leather jacket. Mm-hmm. Got the zippers. Look at you. We go from the jacket to the tuxedo.
Oh, that was some awards thing. I
You
don't
at the
know.
Enchantment Under the Sea dance right there.
I met Max Patkin on an airplane. How the hell you know who I am? He's the clown prince of baseball. Did you ever watch Bull Durham? He's on
Yeah.
the sideline doing all the minor. He played all the minor league parks. He was on an air flight from Springfield to Chicago, and I just happened to be sitting right next to him. I kept looking at him. I go, "You're Max freaking Patkin. How the hell you know who I am?" I'm a comedian, and we watch a lot of baseball. You know,
Is he still alive?
He's probably dead.
Probably
by
100,
now. That's
148 years old.
He's got to be up there. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
In the zone. Comedy zone. That's Tim Power. He was a DJ up in Portland, and that's Marty Cohen from Party Hardy Marty from Solid Gold Dancers. That's me and Don Mattingly.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Donnie Baseball. That's Tom Doyle. He was a DJ up on that top picture. The Stupids was the Society to Undertake the Preservation of Endangered Dumb Songs with the Idiots. I sat in with them a few times doing, I think we sang I Think I Love You by the Partridge Family. And, you know, whatever dumb songs, that's all they played, but they're great musicians.
That's awesome.
That was just a class reunion shot there. That's me and Denny Johnson. He's funny as shit. If you ever see him on YouTube, check him out.
I've never seen him. What's his name?
Danny Johnson?
Denny Johnson,
Look at
yeah.
that beautiful fucking 80s mustache.
Oh, he had it, man.
Jesus
You talk about a
Christ.
guy that got pussy. This guy.
I want to smell his mustache.
And he always did 38 minutes.
Why
It
always
was the same
38?
show. It was the same show.
Oh,
all the
he
time. And
never-
Then he added a new bit because he did props and goofy stuff. He'd do John Wayne as a stand-up. Here's another little joke for you. Just rode in from Las Vegas, and boy, are my horse's balls swollen. You know? But he's just funny.
Yeah.
But he added a new bit. Zan Fear was this guy that they used to advertise on TV. Played the pan flute. It goes little to big,
Yeah.
So he took some spare ribs and cut them and glazed them and did a Zanfir bit, and we were just all blown away. But he's got a new bit. He's got a new bit. It was 2 minutes. It wasn't even a minute long, but it was a new bit.
Did he have to push another one out to get to 38 minutes?
No, he was up to 38 and a half minutes then, I guess.
Good for him.
Yeah.
You say he got a lot of. I mean, was it the mustache?
He's got
was
pussy
it the mustache that got
he
him?
lived in L.A., man. He and John Fox were roommates for a while. John Fox, the comic, they were house painters.
They were house painters.
Yeah, they were doing that while they were doing comedy. And
I love how
John Fox's joke. I was a house painter for 5 years. 5 years. I didn't think I'd ever finish that fucking house. That was a dumb joke, but he told the story of him and Denny. They were painting at some house somewhere, and Danny came off the ladder and bumped into the can of paint, and it went all over this fucking Oriental rug. It was like a red paint and went all over. And he's like, ah! And John Fox is going, don't move. And he went in the other room and grabbed the toddler and brought the toddler and stuck him in the paint and started going, God damn it, kid. So the mom came in and beat the kid and then apologized to them for the kid. I go, you're a fucking asshole.
That's hilarious.
It's fucking quick thinking is what that was.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it seems like that wasn't the first toddler whose ass he got kicked.
Yeah. That was some agency put that out, California Town Associates. They used to book me in high schools and stuff like that.
That's got to be so cool. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it has all the fucking names.
All the names of who I impersonate and then who I open for and who it is, all kinds of weird stuff like that.
Who you impersonate? Oh, humorous versions of songs by the following artists.
Yeah, that's kind of tricking everybody, isn't it? That's a nice way to do it.
That really is, yeah. That's cool, though. Leonard Skinner. What was your Skinner parody?
Turn it up. And I go, fuck you, you suck. We hate you. Thank you.
the plane crash.
Yeah, I just did the plane crash. And then Huey told me, he said, don't do that one in South Carolina because Artemis Pyle showed up, He crawled from the wreckage. Yeah, so I go, okay, I won't do it.
He was, he would have kicked your foot out.
Wait, somebody survived the plane?
Oh, yeah, Artemis Pyle. Yeah, his story has changed over the years, but according to him originally, he was in it. His guts came out of his fucking, he had to put his guts back in his gimmick.
Yeah.
He said that he...
Most of the guys got decapitated because the equipment was in the back when the plane kind of came down and hit the ground. All that stuff went just...
Yeah.
This is a fast death, I guess.
The lead singer was fucking thrown out and then hit a goddamn tree and died. So, that's why that joke's funny.
Okay, hey, we're cheering everybody up now, aren't we? Crawling from the wreckage.
Blue Oyster Cult. You had what was that parody of?
That's who I opened for.
Oh, okay. Okay. It says humorous versions of songs by the following artists.
Oh, I don't know.
That's false advertising, bro.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
You got to have a Godzilla parody here.
They put him in the wrong category, I think.
Beer the Reaper or something?
I don't know. Beer of the Reaper.
I don't know. Beer the Reaper. There you go.
Smoke the Reaper.
Yeah, we're riding right here. We're fucking, okay. Yeah. Steve Miller. Yeah, you did the Steve Miller parody? Steve Miller? Don't remember that either? I think they're just fucking, they're writing checks your ass can't cash.
I did all this stuff, but I can't remember all the ones I used to do. I used to do some heart stuff, and The Dog and the Butterfly, get hit by cars, they often die. I did, can of tuna.
You were Weird Al before Weird Al, man.
Yeah, but I didn't beat a joke to death like Weird Al did.
Like for 3.5 minutes sometimes?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's the same as the one on the front, I think. There, some are the same, some are different.
What is this?
I have no idea.
The K-Mill to have Mighty Mac Weekend.
It's the other side of it. That's me opening for the Tubes. Oh. That was just on their flyer that they sent out when I did the thing. Boy, I was young there.
Yeah. You're like in 9th grade here.
Yep, probably.
Look at that
That's
clean
me and
cut
Willie Mays.
I know.
It's me talking to Willie Mays at the fantasy camp.
It's you talking to Willie Mays, and Willie Mays looking like he'd rather be anywhere else, right?
But you know what? I had so much fucking fun with Willie Mays. I didn't tell you the Willie Mays story.
Yeah,
that's what's so funny about this picture, because I'm at the camp, and everybody's got 24 on, and everybody wants to be Willie Mays. So I'm dressing next to him, and I'm just taking my time. It's taking me forever to get my socks. I'm just really taking forever. Yeah. So finally he's getting dressed, and he's doing his thing, and I'm doing my shoes, and it's just the two of us finally. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and I go, no. And I went back to my shoe, and I looked at him again, and I go, and he was going to go, thinking I'm going to say, you're Willie fucking Mays. I go, you were on the Donna Reed show, weren't you? And he goes, motherfucker. I go, you were on Bewitched too. I go, I thought you looked familiar.
That's
hilarious. So I went back to tie my shoe because those two shows I knew from my childhood that he'd been on.
Yeah.
He goes, who the fuck are you, man? I said, I'm the comedian. So we chatted, and then who's he play catch with? He plays catch with me. And then I got to play third base while he was up to bat, and he was trying to hit it down my throat. It was great. But anyway.
That's fucking wild.
So a year later, I got this picture sent to me from the guy at the camp, and Willie Mays was signing at this place, $10 a pop or something. So this guy that I knew from this baseball card shop said, hey, Mays is down here. And I go, good, I got that picture. Maybe you can sign it. So we're in line, and I tell him the Donna Reed story. And he goes, that's pretty fucking funny. I go, I bet you he remembers me. He goes, I'll bet you the $10 for the autograph that he doesn't remember you. Yeah. I go, well, we'll see. So we get up there, and I throw that picture down, and then he's just signing, going through, and he looks at the picture, and he looks up at me, he goes, Donna Reed. And my friend just shits him. He just
That's
goes,
awesome.
I can't believe that. And he goes, how you been, man? He goes, you work? I go, yeah, I'm working. So we got to chat for him a second, He signs the picture, and so he had to pay for my autograph picture.
That's so fucking cool that he remembered you, man.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he meets a lot of people, but I left an impression on him. And there's Lassie's mom, Timmy, June Lockhart, up on the top.
Damn, she doesn't look bad there.
Well, she looked horrible, but she photographed well because of the makeup. And then,
she looked horrible.
Well, I mean, she looked rough up close because she was old then. I think she got to be close to 100. And that's me at the awards show. I was emceeing part of that night.
It's so cool. It's Huey Lewis in the news and you. Mm-hmm. Huey's pointing at you. Mm-hmm. That's so fucking cool.
Pretty wild.
He knows me.
Well, yeah, but but that also just has to make you feel good just in the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Like people are like, who the fuck's Huey Lewis pointing at? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the MTV. Do you still have that jacket?
I gave that to my drummer friend, but Schneider's squatting behind me somewhere because I just noticed that the other day when I looked at that because he had those clothes on. I got a picture in here somewhere where he's in the picture with him. Dude,
you with the MTV hat and the jacket, that's the coolest shit
ever.
Yeah,
they just opened a San Francisco office and we did some kind of thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
And that's for Comedy Day. That's Mike Pritchard and Will Durst and Debbie Durst and Jim Samuels and here we are again doing a softball thing.
It looks like you played softball 1,000 times over the years.
Well, we did. I mean, every time we got together and did this, it was for missing children stuff. There's Dwayne Board. He ended up being a good friend. He was number 76 for the Niners. And Ricky Ellison. And some of these motherfuckers are just big sons of bitches. There's Joe Montana and
Red Jack, son of a bitch right there.
That's Bill Ring. Wow. Yeah, he was. And that's Herbie Herbert. That's Journey's manager there, and he handled Eric Martin, Mr. Big. And these are guys.
Oh, is that Mr. Big?
That's Eric.
That's
Eric.
Guys from Mr. Big.
Want to be with you.
Yeah.
Deep inside.
Yeah, Dr. Gonzo. I like girls. Hacksaw Reynolds. I go, you like girls? He goes, I like girls. So he wrote that.
That's what it was. I like girls.
Yeah.
That's amazing. He was trying to dispel the gay rumors.
That's a local news guy that on the radio. That's the news tonight. I'm Gil Har.
Yeah,
Dr. Gonzo, best Gil Har.
You could hear his voice when he signed.
Look at those fucking ears, Jesus!
Yeah, I know. He hears the news.
Yeah, that's his newsroom. This is you a little bit later with the guitar. This is you probably in the 90s, maybe 2000s.
Probably right around there. I might have. Just before I moved back, I think I had those taken. That was probably about 91.
Oh, I love the cane pulling you off the stage. The hook.
That was a real fucking early shot. That was probably 79. Yeah, with a shitty little mustache.
That was when you were the gay neighbor on a sitcom.
Yeah. I was gonna say that has a fucking. Who's that filmmaker?
I look like Gene Wilder, kind of.
Yeah,
that's weird.
The fucking
super gay dude with a pencil mustache.
John Waters.
John Waters.
There you go. Yeah.
I like that. That's sweet. That's awesome. And then
on a radio station, this couple got married on the air, so I did a Jimi Hendrix. I played the wedding march with all this feedback.
Did you have acid in your headband too?
Didn't have to. It was so early in the fucking morning. It was morning radio, so I'm sure I'd been up pretty late that night. I think I learned the song that morning.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Guitar.
That's a nice.
My glam.
Still have that guitar?
Not that one. Yeah, it might be over my brother's shop. I give a lot of guitars away. I got a couple upstairs. If somebody jams with me, and Different photo shoots, different guys, different people shooting me. Different people have different ideas. The doc of comedy rock.
I like that. So this is. Did you have these cartoons made?
I just cut those out. Those are R. Crumb did those. He did.
Oh, yeah.
He did Keep on Trucking and Mr. Natural and all those things. I just saw those and I just cut them out and stuck them on there for a poster. And then that way I had a blank piece of paper there that I could just put whatever I want. And then.
This looks cool, though.
There's Lionel Hampton right there. He signed that right on his vibes. That was in 1980.
Gonzo, you are real great. That's
that's
awesome.
Lionel Hampton right there in the blue suit.
Oh yeah,
That's
Playing the
so
vibes.
cool.
Yeah.
He must have passed away a while ago, right?
He was 80 when I opened for him in 1980. So yeah, but he played with all the big bands. And Buddy Hickerson, who draws the comic The Hickersons, he saw me one night, and so he drew a picture of me. So he drew a sketch of me, and I thought that was pretty funny.
That's fucking cool. That's really cool.
There's me lighting my tongue.
Look at that edgelord.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that. That must be my next one. Let's see. What is Dr. Gonzo? Okay, I love it. Dr. Gonzo, smooth blend of hot rock and roll. I fucking love that. That's awesome.
And then I had postcards. I mean, I had, promotion.
Merch, man.
Merch was,
kinds
it was
of
mostly just if I played a club, I'd send them a postcard afterwards and say, hey, thanks, man. There's me and Dana Carvey.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then I just found this picture.
Who's the chick in the middle there?
I don't know. She was
chick we
she was
tag
taking
teamed.
photographs up in Caesars. She was the gal that took pictures of people, and he was in one room and I was in the other room.
Dude, I'm such a big fan of his too.
And this one, I just found this picture, and that's that right there is Lenny Pickett from Saturday Night Live. He's the horn guy.
Cool looking picture.
But he was playing with Tower of Power then. So there's Huey back there, and it's Huey, Tower of Power guys, and crew guys.
Lenny Pickett
this was us.
Has to hold some sort of record for being on more SNL episodes than anybody.
He can circular breathe.
Really?
He can hold a note
so
forever.
He can just
he can breathe in his nose and blow out. I told you Mark Rousseau story, the sax guy that was.
Yeah.
He had his style. And then we picked up Lenny on the East Coast, when we played through New York City and around through there. And he grew up, his mom was a heroin addict, so this guy's never done drugs in his life. Because he always had to take care of his mom and stuff. So, sorry, I keep... Eat the mic, Gonzo. So Lenny Pickett, when he was on the tour with us, it was just great. And
then you say Huey Lewis?
Yeah, so he came up, he was playing with the Tower of Power horns. Oh, okay. And did I tell you what I was doing? I was doubling up. I would open for Huey Lewis like at the Coliseum, and the Tower of Power horns would back him up during the show. Well, then I would run across town because Tower of Power would be playing at a nightclub.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I'd open for Tower of Power, and I'd be stretching out there till the horn guys got over, met the rest of the guys, and then they would do their shows. Cool. And I did that probably 10 times.
Did you ever have any times where you're stretching for the guys to get there and something happens, they don't show up for a long fucking time, or?
They know that it's a gig and it's money, so they usually got there. But sometimes there's traffic or you got lost or something, So yeah, I've had to stretch.
Yeah,
many times. What do you want to hear again?
Yeah.
I'll just start over. What the fuck? They'll be here, trust me. But they had some great different singers with them, the lead guys. But Tower of Power was just awesome. That's always what they play before the show over next door to Tower of Power music.
I love the
down to the nightclub, do.
Yeah, that's right.
Them.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, that's. Did you pick that song to play, or did Chris pick that song to play before the shows?
I think we both heard it and said, it's Saturday night and I'm hanging out, and he just liked it.
It's a good atmosphere song.
The
for
song
sure.
that I really wanted him to do was the theme from Mannix. And when the song's playing, you go, we got a great show for you, ladies. From Easton, Illinois. Just doing the intros. But it's a TV theme song, and I just love it. But he didn't buy that one, so. And then I got a review in here I was telling you about.
Oh.
Schneider. I just found, I was digging through this box. I was just laughing because we played the Eagle House up in Eureka, California. And it was me and, who was it? Who was the other guys? Bo Smithson, and Rob Schneider. And so they put Opie, Shaggy, and Elvis entertain Eureka audience. Of course, I was Shaggy, and Opie was the other guy, and Elvis was little. And what was one of the things that Schneider... The second act was Rob Schneider, a comedian in his early 20s who reportedly just staged some successful routines in New York City. Looking very much like a young Elvis Presley, Schneider wore black denim trousers, black Beatlesque boots, and a two-tone 50s jacket. Schneider pleased the crowd with his reading from the Book of Elvis, in which he changed his voice enough to imitate a young, naive Priscilla Presley and Elvis himself with a deep Southern accent. People didn't seem to mind laughing at Elvis' decadence, his appreciation of drugs, young girls, etc., but I think the man's life was too tragic to laugh at.
Oh, shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
they say a couple things in there.
Shut the fuck
But he
up.
goes, I really enjoyed the bulk of Schneider's material, especially when he mentioned he's on an all-sugar diet. For breakfast, he has a stir-fried Twinkie and washes it down with Coke. I feel pretty good after I stop shaking, he said. And then it was just pretty funny. And they both comfortably and quickly improvised when a man from Finland reportedly requested Scandinavian jokes. And then it said Dr. Gonzo, the headliner, was also lightning quick in coming up with Scandinavian humor. I don't remember anything.
I wonder.
I don't,
That dude, that is, yeah,
it's
that's
just a
pretty
funny,
lightning quick.
It's just a funny review, but
Sure.
lightning quick. I don't know what I was lightning quick
you
about.
know what, man, I think
I probably came out and went handy vandy gandy handy. You know what?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, if I was on stage and somebody yelled that to me, I would probably stare at him like a deer in the headlights. I got a lot of shit in the
You got
holster.
any
but
Scandinavian jokes?
like,
No, I don't.
yeah,
No, I fucked your mother.
there you go. Works for me.
So yeah, I told you we keep in like an hour and a half. So
Okay. So,
we're a little over.
That's
So
all right.
let's. But Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh yeah, Stevie Ray. I met him when I was touring with Huey, and he.
You were piloting the helicopter, right, that night?
Yeah, that was me.
Right.
And but he was drugging it pretty big time back then. This was like in '84, but he was
Yeah.
couldn't stand the weather and Tasket. You know, I mean, he was coming to his own. But I really like Chris and Tommy, his bass player and drummer guy. And anyway, I met them through Huey, and then I ended up doing a couple of dates with them and just had a blast. We did Hendrix's birthday in Santa Cruz.
Jesus.
And big stormy night at the Civic Center down there. It was all general admission, and the people were just milling around in the crowd. And I swear while he was playing Voodoo Child that they made a giant Jimi Hendrix head in the middle of the crowd. Maybe it was just me.
Maybe it was the drugs.
But I had an
yeah.
epiphany while watching him playing guitar that night because I was standing on the side stage. I got to watch, you know.
Wait, what year was this?
84.
So it wasn't Jimi Hendrix you were watching, okay.
No, it was
okay, I got you.
Stevie
Sorry, I
Ray.
got you.
Stevie Ray Vaughan on Hendrix's birthday.
I got you.
So
Well,
that
you
was the
said
first night I
okay,
saw
yeah.
him play
Sure.
Voodoo Child.
Sure, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he was doing that,
And
but
he was killing it,
But
right.
that was his whole shtick when he was in Texas. When he was a young kid, was he was just learning Hendrix songs, but he was put with a little Texas shuffle in the songs. So when he played Voodoo Child that night, I was just like blown away, and I had this epiphany watching him play the guitar. I don't know if you've watched Stevie play, but if you play guitar, you know, you always worry about this. You know, you want to get all the technical stuff, but
Yeah.
this is your heart and soul, is your right hand, because that's your.
Yeah.
So I'm watching him play. I'm like, and I got this brain rush. So I ran down under the basement, under the stairs. You know, you could still hear all the noise upstairs. But I got my guitar out and I started going, oh, it's about the right hand. It's not
Yeah.
about the left hand. All these years I've been working on the left hand, but this is the one that transposes your feelings.
Yeah.
It's the right hand that has all the feeling to it.
The other one's your guy.
So it just made me a better guitar player. You know.
What's funny is that even you explaining that to me as somebody who doesn't even play guitar, I know exactly what you mean.
Good,
by
good,
that. You know
good.
what I mean?
Well,
Just
but
by
that's
the sound.
That's
of that.
how it hit me in the
Sure,
face. So I
yeah,
just went,
yeah.
wow. So that just made me play better.
That's what makes you jump out of the sound. Like it makes Stevie Ray Vaughan jump out of the radio when you hear that shit.
Yes,
Like the
yes.
moment that you hear it, you know it's him. The chung, chung, yeah.
Oh, I know. He was just awesome. And then I ran into him in New York when we got to New York. The same time that I ran into Sean Penn and all those guys.
Yeah.
I was in the lobby and ran into Stevie Ray was
Jesus
there
Christ.
because he was doing another gig somewhere. And he's like, Gonzo, hey, how you doing, man, hey, brother? And he comes out, and he freaking punches me right in the arm. He just goes bam like that. So I turn around and boom, I hit him. He's like, ha! He's laughing at it. And those guys, they take off, and I'm like, oh my fucking arm, man. And I had this big giant bruise.
Wow, so he
if
really
I'd have
fucking
known he was
hilarious.
going to die, I'd have had a tattoo
Yeah.
of that bruise
Yeah.
on my arm. And could you put his face in there somewhere? I don't know.
Because he died when the early '90s. Was that what it
He
was?
died about 90, 91, somewhere around
Okay,
there.
so it wasn't too long after.
I just
that.
remember Rick, the bass player, called me up. Joe Walsh's bass player. He goes, "Man, that was too bad about Stevie." I go, "What?" He goes, "Oh, fuck, you didn't hear. I don't want to have to tell you."
My
And then
bad.
He told me, my bad. And then he told me, and I just because I played Alpine, it's some hills there, and it's foggy, and boom, so Jane Dornacher, who was a comic friend of mine, she ended up becoming a weather gal or a traffic gal in New York in a helicopter, and she died in a helicopter. Okay, they showed that on CNN. Then Stevie Ray dies in '90, and then Bill Graham dies in like '91 in a helicopter. I'm thinking I'm not getting on a helicopter, so don't ax me. If you fly helicopters, I shall not ride with you. And now I'm like Mitch Hedberg, just stammering and going, what?
It's so funny that you mentioned this last time that you saw Hedberg and you picked up his cadence for a little bit after seeing him perform. Isn't it like just the most infectious thing? It's so funny.
It's just weird how he talks, and because you just start talking that it's I don't know.
Oh, that was another one I wanted to talk to you about. Fucking your weekend with Hedberg.
I was in Boise, Idaho. We were staying in this real old ancient hotel, and we just had a great time all week. We went out drinking and partying every night.
What year was this? Mid '90s or when was this?
I'd have to look on my calendar when I was in Idaho,
He
but
blew
it was
up probably right.
yeah, because
blew up
I think I might have been living back here by then because he wouldn't have been till. I told you about him and Stanhope hanging out, and they went on as Arj and Barker.
You talked about it after we quit recording.
Oh, okay. Well, Arj Barker didn't show up, and those two guys were hanging out. So I said, why don't you go on as Arj and Barker? And they did. And they were so different from each other that it worked. Mm-hmm. And then they go, should we come back tomorrow? I said, sure, I don't care. And then Arj showed up, so kind of took all the fun out of that. Mitch was just, I just didn't know that he was going to blow up. And I knew he was good.
He exploded.
I thought he was going to be, in my brain, I was thinking of Stephen Wright, kind of just how
that one-liner,
just real,
slow,
no
deliberate
real,
intent,
no real stage presence, just the thing.
I feel like Mitch Hedberg was more easily approachable for the average person than Stephen Wright was.
Stephen Wright was kind of. You just don't know what to do with Steve.
Yeah.
Steve was kind of creepy and weird.
But Mitch Hedberg is a guy that
he was pretty normal.
He just seemed shy.
Yeah, but you could put his material on.
But I didn't realize that he was into the drugs as deep as he was.
Pretty deep in there.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't on that same plane at that time.
Sure.
I mean, I was still partying.
You were chasing the dragon. Yeah.
No, I wasn't chasing the dragon. We were just all out, looking at the Tang.
Yeah.
I'd love to get pussy with Mitch Hedberg.
Not now.
Why don't you go over there?
Get that leftover Mitch Hedberg pussy.
I bet he probably cleaned up. I bet his awkward ass probably cleaned the fuck up.
Yeah, the rock star comedian. Yeah. I'd say he probably did pretty well for himself.
Yeah, but it ain't all about pussy. Of course, for you guys, it is.
That's mostly about
for Kyle. The
married
married
one.
one.
For the
But that was
married
all.
guy,
But
yeah.
I mean, you got to remember, that's why a lot of people just got into comedy was the cocaine and the pussy. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I can go out there and just do this. See, it's so weird when I did it. It was. I don't even know why I got in. I got into it because it was stage time. I went out there to produce a play and play some music out at the wharf, and I was working on putting this play thing together. When the comedy thing, I just started hanging out with these guys and they were all like hobby comics, I thought, but most of them had, they grew up and they watched these guys, and that's what their goal was, and that's why they were getting into comedy. I got into it because I was just screwing around and killing time while I was trying to do some other things that weren't happening. Yeah. And then you're going to pay me? You're going to give me money to do what I've been doing at the basement at the boarding house? At the Holy City, you're going to pay me? Okay. And then I had 15 minutes, and then somebody goes, you got 20 minutes? Sure. I took the gig, and then I realized I need to get 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
But you do, but always take the gig, man. No matter what even if you don't have time, take the gig and figure it out. Put pressure on yourself because it makes you right,
Yeah. Makes you better. Did you ever do a nursing home?
Oh yeah. I've done a couple of them here, I just do it because it's Mother's Day or whatever. Last time I was out here on Mother's Day, I got up there and I wanted to cry, man, because I knew the lady right here, and she just completely lost her mind. And I was a good friend of hers, and her family was all around her. And I kept saying hi to her, and she kind of would smile at me, but she didn't have a clue. No. And I'm just telling stories about growing up. My dad doctored out at the nursing home too, and so I told stories about him and growing up being a kid and a first responder, and just whatever. And then about my mom or whatever. I just did 20 minutes, boom, and I was out the door. They go, what do we owe you? I go, nothing. Yeah. That was my gift to people. These are the people that raised me.
Yeah.
All the people that are out there. I knew some of them. Or
Yeah.
most of them.
Josh and I did one in Springfield.
It was
and-
booked by Donnie B.
Okay.
Oh, bro. So
I mean, were they just completely out of it?
Donnie B tells us, hey, it's not going to be for the people there. It's not going to be for the old people. It's going to be for the staff. We're like,
staff.
that's cool. Yeah, rock and roll. Let's do it.
Like it's their anniversary, their 20-year anniversary or whatever.
We get there, and it is not for the staff. It is for people who are not even on like this planet. Like,
Where are you rowing to?
Dude, I knew it was going to be bad because
You got something right here.
yeah.
Yeah, and here, and all over here. Quack, 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 quack.
We had to stay in the breezeway because of COVID, so we can't like.
Dude, it was weird. We were the lady like met us at the door and then like had us
Everything
fill
was
out
in the breezeway.
had us fill out tax forms in this little like
For
4
big
foot by 6
$60
foot.
checks.
Yeah.
We're like locked in this little breezeway, and then we sit at this little side table so we can see them like start to line up people in chairs. So they're looking at us.
Yeah, like they're going
As
to
we're,
cafeteria.
like,
They
filling-
think they're going for food.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Dude, and I knew it was going to be bad when they led this one older lady in, and she looks at the name of the nursing home, whatever the fuck it was, right? Twin Pines, and she goes, "Oh, Twin Pines," and I'm like, "Oh my God, she lives here and doesn't know what it's called."
Yeah.
And I'm not like trying to make fun of people,
No, but that's-
but goddamn.
That's what you're giving a show to.
Yeah.
And the woman, leading this older lady, she goes, "Hey, do you want me to take you back to your room, or do you want to watch the show?" And I'm going, "Oh God, go back to your room, go back to your room." And she goes, "I'll watch the show." I'm like, "Oh." So fucking Josh goes up first, and I remember thinking like, let's see how this kid does.
She just opens the fucking door and
my
then
God.
sets down like a single
dude.
like karaoke speaker.
Yeah, it's like
with
something
a
you'd
mic.
have at your kid's
Just
6th birthday
opens
party.
both the doors. I'm like, all right. She's like, we're gonna have a comedian. Here you go.
Yeah.
And then just nothing.
This isn't my regular
Just-
chair.
I'm
You
like,
got a
I
pretty
actually.
nice chair there.
That's what I should have done.
Is that the Speedy 3000?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you got to
Oh,
do?
bro. So Josh opens up and he's doing
Don't you hate it
material.
when you're lifting weights and you get stabbed? Oh, I thought this was a prison. I'm sorry.
I'd rather be doing a prison at that point.
Well,
Josh,
Dude, yeah, Donnie specifically
Was he there?
said
Was he
there? Of course he
PG.
wasn't there.
You
Of
can
course
say like PG. Don't say fuck. You can say one fuck. He specifically said this.
You can say
and then
one
it's
fuck.
for like 85-year-old fucking people.
And you're going, what the
And
fuck's
then
wrong
I'm
with
like-
you people?
I'm
Good
like-
night, everybody.
And then you
I
realize
used my one fuck the
for,
first minute.
for preparation, like you realize how dirty your jokes are. Like I had material that I thought was clean until you say it in front
Until
of
you say
fucking
it in front of old
90-year-olds.
people. Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, I said cocaine in this joke.
So I see,
yeah.
funny.
I see Josh up there, and obviously it's not going well because they don't understand English at this point of their lives. And
I'm like $60 to $60. I'm getting
But
the
that's
60
all right. You'll learn.
bucks.
I mean,
Right.
you got a story.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm so cocky. I'm like, well, I'm going to show this kid how it's done. I'm going to show this.
Yeah.
And he brings me up, and I knew within 5 seconds this is going to be one of like the longest 20 minutes of my fucking life. I just started explaining episodes of I Love Lucy to him. Like
Yeah.
at that point, 'cause there's no because
You
I
can't be in the show.
oh yeah I did do that. Yeah, she was always trying to find a way in.
Ricky.
Oh God.
Ricky, I love Lucy, and he was me.
Fuck, I wish I would have done that.
Ethel and little Ricky.
Yeah, we
The friend tells
should have
me
brought
to pay
Gonzo,
rent.
yeah, the pro.
I give him the finger and I say, get mad. I love Lucy, and don't you know, Lucy, you can't be in the show. Because Fred Mertz, a fist with eyes. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, the trenches, man.
It was.
It was
yeah.
fun. It's a story.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, I got a lot of video out of it.
I got laid.
You got laid? You fuck.
Hell yeah, he did.
Well, I think I got laid.
I got to stay
Maybe she
over.
just peed all over me. I can't. I don't know.
Squirting, bro.
She was wet.
Oh shit. Well, that's a pretty good fucking place to end on. No, Gonzo, thanks a lot for doing this again, man.
Hey,
This was a
thanks,
lot of
man.
fun.
I
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
it.
man.
It's fun. And thanks for playing Pull the Names Out of the Hat.
Yeah, this is great.
Let's just put these back in here, man. We'll
Good night,
find all
Street
kinds of-
Kings.
The This has been a Walter Freeman production. Meow, meow, motherfucker.